These two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
I don't want to waste my time, become another casualty of society. I'll never fall in line, become another victim of your conformity and back down.
These two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. It's America's Barley Basket.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of America's Barley Basket. I'm your host, Marlin Wells, alongside host Nathan Fulsabach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlin.
How goes it today?
Yeah. We're out here. We're living. We got.
You doing okay?
So that was more phlegm than I'm comfortable with.
That was from the heart.
Got some fresh Miller lattes.
Yep.
Just, celebrating our independence.
It's a fine Pilsner. It says it right on the side.
It does.
It doesn't proclaim to be good.
I almost didn't buy it.
It proclaims to be fine.
Mm-hmm. It sets the bar at a nice level.
Yeah, we're just peek behind the curtain. It is the 4th of July, so happy 4th of July to our American listeners.
And I think we're celebrating. We're in a sedentary position, sitting indoors with air conditioning, drinking cheap beer.
In basketball shorts.
In basketball shorts, yes. I can't think of a better way to symbolize 2021.
Yeah, we're living.
I do have, someone gave me as kind of a gag gift. I have a traveler of peach schnapps that's baking in the back of my car right now. So if we wanted to make sure this ends nightmarishly, you want some boiling hot peach schnapps. Get the peach sharts on your.
You want to drink like you're 17 again? Yeah. Get some peach schnapps.
If I legit smell peach schnapps, my brain goes back to the late 90s. It's weird. It's uncanny how they say sense is like the one. It's the one, or smell is the one sense most connected to memory. Honest to God, the truth.
Yeah.
I immediately was like, holy shit, is it 1996? Like, should I be driving to Target to buy a 311 CD right now?
Yes.
Yes and yes, yeah.
Did I study? Do I got a test tomorrow?
Ooh, you're giving me too much credit.
Peach schnapps is such a, I stole this from the parents' liquor cabinet liquor.
Yep. Yeah, a girl I went to high school with, her drink of choice was peach schnapps mixed with Diet Pepsi.
Oh.
How? It doesn't taste bad.
Okay.
But I would have a diabetic coma induced before I would even get a buzz, I think.
It seems like a lot of sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a whole lot of sweet, yeah.
I've had good like alcoholic slushes that have peach schnapps as its main hooch in it. That's always good.
Oh, and I am mistaken. Mine isn't peach schnapps. It's a butterscotch or butter shots.
Butter shots? That's even worse. Shots. Oh, man,
the butter sharts makes more sense. Drinking hot butterscotch schnapps until our bowels can no longer contain the fury.
I like butterscotch and can't get behind a butterscotch schnapps.
Yeah, I think I probably don't dislike any of them, but the payback of drinking shit like that for me, it just isn't worth the effort. The hangover it's going to induce. That sugar.
A lot of sugar.
Yep.
For me, the schnapps is peppermint.
Okay, I can see that.
That was like there was always a bottle of that rattling around in the glove compartment of the chore pickup when I was young. Take a little nip while you're doing chores in the morning.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind peppermint. I don't mind cinnamon. I don't mind black licorice. That's why I like Yag.
Yeah.
I like Yag on the rocks just to sip. I like that taste. Yeah.
I love that idea of sitting there just responsibly having a Yag on the rocks.
Well, isn't that what it was initially made for? It's like a digestive, like an after dinner drink in Europe.
That.
Yep. Then they see us, girls gone wild and
pouring a full can of Red Bull into it and slamming it.
That's what grandfather would drink after
a hunt.
After a full lunch of Braunschweiger. Are they mocking grandfather?
He'd have a nice cold Jägermeister on the rocks and eat his liverwursts.
Oh, man.
Tell us tales of the hunt.
Yeah. We're doing it right, though.
Not in America. Jägermeisters for pouring straight down your head.
Yeah, and getting your stomach pumped at 1:30 p.m.
And if you really want to graduate from Jägermeister, you go the Sambuca route and you get yourself a bottle of black Sambuca, which is like diesel Jägermeister.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Sambuca is a good time. The black or the white. I like either one.
I don't know. I've heard that name countless times. I don't even know if I know what it's about.
I couldn't tell you what makes it different or what's in it, but it's, in my head, it's just grown-up Jägermeister.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It's real good, and it turns your poop green, which is a fun bonus.
Yeah.
The next day when you're already feeling bad about yourself and just, oh yeah, look at that.
I've had worse colors.
That's a mossy oak tone is what that is.
Blending in real nice. There used to be that one that turned it purple. That's an alarming color to have your shit.
I'll bet. I don't know that one.
Called Tattoo? I think if you drink enough Tattoo, it would turn your shits purple. Because it turned your mouth, because that was the thing, it would turn your mouth purple too.
Huh.
So your tongue would just be bright purple.
Fun.
Yeah. What do you think that's doing to your insides? That can't be
nothing
good for you.
Good.
No, yeah.
That's like even without the poison that's killing your brain, like if that were non-alcoholic, that would still be a horrible thing. I feel like I'm
being just an old fuddy-duddy, but I don't think your poop should be purple.
Bold.
I think it should be earth tones.
I
think I'm old-fashioned that way. Like,
I commend your bravery.
Thank you. Someone should. Feel like I'm on an island here.
No, I stand with you, Nathan. Earth tone dumps.
I'm in a liquor store chastising the college kid that's buying Tattoo. That probably hasn't been for sale since like 2002.
It ain't natural, I'm telling you.
Picketing a liquor store that doesn't even sell it.
Get out of here.
We can just jump into this episode.
Yeah, why not?
Sometimes we talk about The Simpsons.
Yeah, we may as well.
It comes up. We're in season 13.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting 13. We're getting high enough into the numbers now. I'm getting them mixed up, which is a sign we're getting into the weeds.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Because early on, like they're distinct. 3, 4, 5. Now I was like 13 or possibly 14. But
it's like the Final Fantasy games at this point. You don't know.
Yeah.
Which is this one? I don't know.
Mega Man 11. Sure, why not?
This the one where the androgynous teen saves the world. Okay. Yeah.
So we're in season 13, starting with episode 13. The Old Man and the Key. Starts with the Homer being excited for the kickoff of the XFL season, which I enjoy because he had all the gear.
What are your thoughts on the XFL?
I am all for not a rival football league, a spring-summer football league. Mm-hmm. I think it could make it. And I was interested to see what the XFL's launch was going to be like. But then it just, because they tried to bring it back.
Yeah, just this past year.
Just then COVID
and then
completely iced it.
It was starting to peter out anyway, but COVID really put the nail in it.
I didn't even know they had enough time to peter out.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think it went, probably 6 weeks before COVID hit?
Really?
Or before COVID really fucked everything up?
Then, just a couple years prior, there was another league that had some money behind it. And they had an NBC TV thing, and then it was in their first week, the ratings were great. Like, holy shit, we might have something here. And then they all went bankrupt at once. It's like, oh, this is not economically feasible. It's like, God, someone's going to figure it out. America loves football so much. Someone's going to figure out how to have a spring, early summer football league, and it's going to be great.
I like that this time around when they did it this past year that, it just felt like, hey, we're just making a football league, not like the first time they did it, where it's like we got different rules and everything's pro wrestling now.
Yeah,
they very
really
much this time
down.
around toned it down. And then after they went under, they sold it to, I forget who the other people involved are, but The Rock is one of them. This group who bought it and are gonna bring it back. They say so. Good. I got all this merch.
Yeah, and I even think. Why doesn't ESPN buy the rights to the CFL and just push the shit out of that? I gotta watch the CFL. It's competitive football. It's kind of different. The field's a different shape and shit. Right. So there's different kind of options with the plays and stuff like that. So hey, I'd make that a product. I'd probably enjoy it because man, football's pretty fucking awesome.
I'm curious if a spring summer league could actually be viable, or if people just think they want that much football.
I don't know, man.
Because I feel like both times the XFL tried to do it, it was like, Super Bowl is over. Yeah, I still want football, but then like one more week of football is how much football they actually want.
I think they got to make it, they got to be able to have some legs so you can kind of get interested.
Yeah.
So it's like, because I'm definitely not the kind of person that likes it enough to be their opening night. Fuck yeah, let's have a XFL party, question mark. That's what we're doing, I guess. We're like, oh, okay, the local team's doing all right. Oh, I'll tune in. Oh, this is enjoyable. Because I think almost all leagues, they struggle right away. You just got to have the money to get through those early years. Like, I know like the ABA did that too. That's why there's so many. The ABA was at late 60s, early 70s, like upstart against the NBA, and they were just losing franchises by the dozens. Like Minneapolis had like 3 teams in the first 2 years of the ABA. Like just keep marching them in. Some other business guy can lose a bunch of money, but. And then they eventually got their legs. They made it like 10 years, but they were also trying to go head to head with the NBA,
right? And
try to outbid them for players, and that's
not how.
You never. Well, that's what the USFL tried to do too. Mm-hmm. When you look at the talent the USFL had, like it was outrageous. Like Steve Young, Reggie White, Herschel Walker, Jim Kelly. Like so many huge names went to the USFL, but. You're not going to compete with the monolith that is the NFL,
No kidding. It's impossible. Yeah. At this time, I would have been Homer, excited for the XFL again. Like, there was a time in my early 20s where I went on the eBay and I bought the Memphis Maniacs jerseys and hat and shorts. And I look back at the XFL pretty fondly.
I wonder who the biggest names in the XFL are. That was it. Tommy Maddox.
Maddox probably would have been the biggest one.
And there's a couple other like less glamour position players that ended up carving NFL careers for themselves.
Yeah, sat in the number 2 spot on somebody's depth chart for the rest of their career.
Had 5 or 6 NFL seasons, probably enough to get that pension.
Yeah,
which is good for them.
Yeah, and the more guys. It's just like wrestling. The more guys who can make a living off of it, the better. Everybody wins.
Yep. Yeah. So Marge has to be the one to tell him that the XFL is folded, because at this point the XFL's been done. That's I think the joke. If you were watching this, like, wait a second, like everybody knows that the XFL is over. Like, here's what was the XFL on NBC? Yes. I think because first Vince McMahon's always had a relationship with NBC.
NBC Universal,
and NBC didn't have football at this time, so that made the most sense.
Yeah,
because all things being equal. XFL and Fox seem like the perfect bedmates,
that seems like a better fit for sure.
But they had the NFL, so there ain't no way they're gonna dance with the XFL.
And now SmackDown is on Fox, so he got that relationship eventually.
Well, there we go. Yeah. So Homer's sad, but then the tone changes when they find out that Grandpa has died.
Homer getting bad news just dumped on him in this opening scene.
But then it turns out it was actually his neighbor who died, which is a sign of a subpar retirement home.
Yeah.
And his neighbor's been replaced by a nice piece of elderly ass named Zelda.
Who introduces herself by saying, I put the ass in assisted living.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you do, Zelda.
And, of course, Grandpa immediately falls in love with Zelda, but she only enjoys men who can drive.
Mm-hmm.
That's her thing. So Abe, not a quitter, decides to get his driver's license back. And he goes to the DMV. And here's where we get the old man shouts at cloud meme.
Yep, I have that written down. Another meme origin. Old man yells at cloud.
So either Patty or Selma give him his license back just to get him out of there. And Homer, Marge, would you say they're kind of like iffy about the whole... They're apprehensive about Grandpa driving again.
Yeah, I don't remember if we see the incident that resulted in him getting his license pulled, but you definitely get the feeling that he hasn't been driving for a good reason.
For a reason, yeah. It wasn't just because he didn't need to,
right.
Yeah, and so to kind of safeguard it, they go out. Homer and Marge double date with Grandpa and Zelda at a drive-in movie. And Grandpa and Zelda start getting after it, which I find heartwarming. I do.
Yeah, good for them.
I do. I mean, to some people, originally on the surface, elderly people, tongue kissing is terrifying. It's nightmare
The knee-jerk reaction is
no.
revulsion.
It's just no. throw a tablecloth over them. No, but like, God bless it. It's wonderful. So Grandpa is still kind of, well, I think Homer and Marge at this point have kind of sussed out that Zelda, she's kind of using him.
She just wants you for the car.
Yep, exactly. She ain't into you. She's into the sweet family sedan that you're borrowing from your son.
And I like that they kind of like, they flip it where like Homer and Marge are treating Grandpa like their child.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't take the car out again. And he's, I hate you guys. You know, that's a fun dichotomy switch.
Slams the bedroom door, and he has like Glenn Miller Orchestra blaring. You know, like whose room is that?
I don't know. Whose room's right at the top of the stairs? I don't know. But yeah, that music, whatever that song is the default old person's song.
Yeah, I can't think. Is that like what they do the Charleston too? Like, now, Homer and Marge have realized that, hey, Grandpa, she's not into you. She's into the car, but Grandpa is head over heels for Zelda.
Yeah, not giving up.
Yeah, but due to him, breaking family rules, he's relegated to just running errands.
Yeah,
you say
like, oh, I got to be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah. And this is one of the scenes I did enjoy this, where he runs into these rival old people.
Yep, the souvenir jackets gang.
Such a great gag theme for your gang. And they end up it's the middle of the day. He's going there to pick up like milk, and he ends up getting in what's called a death race.
Yep,
that's a great.
Gonna have a death race with the souvenir jacket seniors.
I have a question for you. When they go into the death race, they're like in a kind of a hollowed out man-made river, like a drainage river,
like
thing.
the L.A. River from Terminator 2.
Yep, exactly. And Snake is the guy running. He's like orchestrating this race.
Yep.
And his girlfriend is there. Is that the same girlfriend that Burns was dating?
Oh, Gloria.
Was that Gloria?
Didn't cross my mind. I wasn't paying that close of attention.
I couldn't picture what this woman had black hair. I couldn't remember if Gloria had black hair or not.
Yeah, I just remember in this scene when he's like, okay, when I drop my girlfriend's top, that's when you guys move, you hit the gas, and she like disapproves. He's like, what? I'm just trying to bring you into my world.
Yeah. And because I was thinking for the Simpsons, because they do enjoy keeping canon on some shit, that'd have been right up their alley to have it be Gloria. So I wonder
go back and check. I bet it is.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble remembering what Gloria looks like from that episode.
So that's I would think that's what it is. But Grandpa is in the death race. It's him and his buddies. It's like the old, I think he's just supposed to be old Jewish guy and then big bearded guy.
Jasper. Yeah. I don't know that the other guy has a name, or that we don't. I don't know that we know his name.
Yep. And they do beat the theme park jacket gang. Oh, it's not necessarily theme park. How would you describe those jackets?
Just souvenirs. Like
jackets.
One's Planet Hollywood. One is just the Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah.
Which is such a fucking 90s
oh my
thing.
God, yeah.
One is the Jurassic Park logo, which that movie came out in 93. Yeah, this came out in 2001.
Yeah.
I love that old man would still be wearing that jacket.
God, yeah.
And it's all like members only style jackets.
Yeah, like satin, cinched waist, cinched wrist.
I would wear the shit out of a Jurassic Park jacket.
Yeah. I'm all about like satin jackets making a comeback.
Hell yeah. Except I hate a cuffed waist, like a
they're not
banded
meant for
waist.
the husky gent.
No, they're not. They're not at all. They just ride up. Like if you go more than 3 minutes without adjusting it, it's going to be up under your armpits.
Yeah. It's like a half tee at that point. So Homer does win the race, but in the process demolishes the car.
Abe wins. They win the race and destroy the car.
Yeah, because the best. It was a good scene how they crashed in the backyard of the Simpson household.
Yeah, ran right into one of Homer's hammock trees.
Yeah, so now, obviously, he's completely lost his driving privileges. And, of course, now that he's carless, Zelda leaves him for that real, like, kind of dashing.
The ladies' man, yeah.
What's his name?
Zach, I think.
Oh, really?
They mentioned earlier.
That is not an old man's name.
No, but it is a cool guy name, so I thought it was a good name for this. Yeah, he's got that sweet minivan with a wheelchair lift.
Yeah. and they are going to Branson, Missouri, which that was a nice touch. Grandpa's still oblivious that she doesn't really care for him. Ends up stealing the Simpsons' other family car. And I'd like Bart just casually observing and kind of giving Grandpa some pointers on how you jump a car.
On how to hotwire it, yeah. It's actually red to yellow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I like he just comes with. Whatever.
Yeah. Can I come with? Yeah, why not?
The disregard for Bart going to school and Homer going to work.
Yep. We don't worry about either of those anymore.
And they used to stick with that. That was a thing, but not anymore. Yeah. And so they realize what has happened. The rest of the family, basically, it's Marge, Homer, and Lisa. I don't know who Maggie's with, but it's those three. And a bus just happens to pull up, and they get on the bus. Heading for Branson. And I thought it was a good gag, too, that the Flanderses are getting on the bus. And Homer's like, we'll wait for the next one.
We'll get the next one, yeah.
That hot ticket bus that goes to Branson every 45 minutes, apparently.
And then there's just a weird joke in here where they accidentally get on a bus for Bronson.
Yeah,
and they get off in this town where everyone is Charles Bronson.
I like that goofball shit. Getting back to a little bit of that. And then they get back on the bus, and they end up in Branson. And I wasn't the biggest fan of this episode, but this was some of the shit I did like. Like that like presentation, that Vegas style song and dance,
that musical number,
because they're making a joke about all these has-been celebrities that now go to Branson. I almost called it Bronson.
Is Branson just old person Vegas?
Yep.
Is that okay?
Yep. And I looked up some of the celebrities because I didn't recognize some of those names.
Yeah,
as they came through the door.
Same here.
Some of those people were like in their mid-40s. How disappointed were they when they saw this on TV? It's like, oh no.
I thought the same thing, because like Charo is the first one you see. I'm like, okay, she was big in the 60s and 70s, and then the next one is Mr. T as B.A. Baracus, and you're like, well, I guess that's like 20 years ago at this point, but still, he really sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah,
one of those in the group. One is who's the fucking in Soviet Russia. Who's that comedian?
Yeah, Yakov Smirnoff.
There you go. Yeah. I always confuse Yakov Smirnoff and Yahoo Serious. Yeah. I never know which is which.
Sounds like they need to have a podcast.
Holy shit! Would I listen to that podcast?
The Yahoo Yakov Hour. And it's just them talking world politics, completely straight-laced, like
from their very different geographical, because
Australia,
Yahoo's Australian,
like the McNeil Lear News Hour, just them two, like welcome,
it's the Frost Nixon of our time.
I did like this is a gag I got a kick out of was when Bart and Grandpa are backstage and Tennessee Ernie Ford's back there, and Grandpa's like, Tennessee Ernie Ford, you're dead. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm up next. No, you are dead.
Here, I kept your obituary. And he has it in his wallet. And shows it to him, and he just dissolves into ash.
Yeah, and for me, that's just like the right kind of celebrity to have for that. You know, he had a country hit 40 years prior, you know, perfect Bronson. He just turns to ash. Like, so great. Yeah, that got me LOLing.
We're past it at this point, but I did like that we get an itchy and scratchy radio show when Abe and Bart are on the way down, because I love those old fucking radio shows and audio skits like the old Adam Sandler albums and shit. I love that kind of thing.
You know, I was down on this episode, but this stretch here from once they make the Branson trip gets pretty good. When Grandpa goes on stage to profess his love for Zelda, it's Marge just like, it's Grandpa, and Homer, Munster? No, Simpson. Like, why would it be Grandpa Munster?
Yep.
Like, why would Marge exclaim?
Why would Marge be so thrilled to see Grandpa Munster? Yeah.
Yeah, I got a kick out of that. And Grandpa is, of course, still madly in love with Zelda, calls her to the stage, and what I thought was a very fun, unexpected turn of events, calls her out for using him just for his car. Refers to her as a hoochie.
A hoochie.
Very early 2000s phrase.
Runs her down on stage.
Yeah. Grandpa asks Homer and the family for forgiveness, and the Simpsons are one big happy family once again.
Yep. Off into the credits. That one, like, kind of whatever, but once we did the Branson turn, I was like, okay. Yeah. I even liked that musical number, and I don't usually care for the musical number on The Simpsons.
Yep.
So
I almost wrote "fuck me" another musical number. But I was like, hey, that was one of the
actually, this is
high
a good
points
one.
in a rather meh episode. Yeah,
right.
But you're right. Like I also think too that Mr. T was probably the one that I bet they thought a lot about it. But whatever they had to find a word that rhymed with some weird word and hit B.A. Baracus, right?
Yeah.
Oh, maracas.
Yeah, maracas and baracas.
Yeah,
that had to be where that came from. I also like all the XFL jokes. I could have stood for a dozen more XFL jokes. Like when he turns to her and goes, "The X is for extreme," and makes the X with his index fingers. Oh, man. And just how sullen he is when she tells him that the XFL isn't coming back.
And you're right. Like the original incarnation of XFL, it was just so forced. How hey, these guys are dying in their 40s. It's plenty extreme already. I've never watched NFL football. Oh, could this be more violent?
Yeah.
You know,
can this be more hard edged?
Yeah. Could it be more head-to-head collisions? No, I'm literally cringing sometimes. You know, I mean, I will be old man yells at cloud, but there's some of the newer rules I think do protect the offensive players too much. But hey, it's still a very good product.
Yeah, and XFL came out so hot, there's going to be no fair catches. And if I'm not mistaken, the very first kickoff is a fair catch in the XFL in game number 1.
Really?
Yeah, because it's what would you prefer they do? Just stand there and get killed? No.
It would just be a turnover fest.
Right. And an injury fest. Think if you took fair catches out, how many dead punt receivers there would be.
I mean, I'm thinking more with kickoffs. Because, with a punt, it's not a live ball if you don't catch it. But a kickoff is.
Yeah.
You can't just let a kickoff go unless it rolls out of the end zone.
Right.
So, smart coaches would figure out a way to do kind of pooch kicks that don't go as far. And then, it'd just be a goddamn bloodbath.
And then there was one receiver could get a running head start or something like that.
That's a CFL thing.
Yeah, that's a CFL thing. The XFL's main claim to fame that this is the thing that we came up with that is still around is the overhead camera on the cable that the NFL still uses.
Oh, interesting.
That's an XFL thing.
Interesting. Okay.
That goes up and down the field.
And I know their whole thing was also, the more you win, the more money you make.
Yeah.
That's a tired trope from the 70s and 80s, the lazy athlete. They make so much money now. Everything is so competitive. No one, I mean, there's some guys that are occasionally one of 1,000 NFL players is half-assing it, just getting by because it's so competitive now. Same thing with the NBA for the most part. Maybe a little less so in the NBA because the NFL, you're very rarely are contracts guaranteed, but still, it's just it's a veiled form of racism,
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but I'm all for another league making it. I hope it happens someday, but we'll see.
We'll see.
And now the NFL extended their season because they care about the health of their players. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Insanity.
Can't wait to watch the playoffs when no one that is playing. Yeah.
Oh man, the NBA. Yeah,
the fucking NBA playoffs. Everyone's hurt.
So right now when you're listening to this, we'll be in the throes of the finals. And God.
Hell yeah. And the two teams that I didn't want of the 4.
See, I'm the opposite.
I know.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Clippers and Hawks.
Yeah. I would not have disliked. I would honestly, all 4 of those teams I'm pretty much fine with. There's no one I dislike there. What I want is an awesome series. I hope when we're discussing this or when you're hearing this, that series has had 4 nail-biting games that's 2-2 and we're going into game 5 and it's anybody's series.
At this point, ever for the last several fucking weeks at this point, ever since the Lakers got knocked out, now I just want to see good games. You know, so because
I love sneaky finals where the kind of fair weather fans I don't care about these teams, but they secretly miss an amazing. I think it was 2005. It was a Spurs-Pistons finals, which, holy, put you to sleep. The average score was probably 61 to 58, because that's back when you could still wrestle in the NBA. But it was a 7-game series where every game was good. It's one of the more underrated sports series of our lifetimes, you know?
part of me like wants it to be, you know, fucking 7 nail-biting games all the way to the end, but part of me thinks it's going to be like the Suns will win in 5 or something like that.
If Giannis is unhealthy this whole series,
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I just want good games. I just want good shooty hoops.
Just want good dunks.
Yeah.
Good passes, stuff shots.
Good way too far back 3-pointers.
Which still
that's what we're doing now.
Bother me.
I
But,
love it.
Oh, man.
I love it. Get them gunslingers out there.
Whatever happened to post-up basketball?
Nope. I'm going to go down and pull up 8 feet behind the 3-point line and drain 80% from there.
Eventually, it's going to happen where my same gripe about wrestling is going to be the same gripes I have about the NBA. It should be bigger. It should be scared of these guys.
This guy's just a guy. He's not a hockey player or a garbage man or anything.
That's the name on his birth certificate.
Oh, we got to get you watching wrestling again. We got to get.
I dabble. I still dabble.
Yeah, I mean full time. We got to get you back deep into the deep end of the wrestling pool.
I'd say I watch 2 to 3 matches a week.
That ain't enough.
That's where I'm at.
Ain't enough, baby.
Like, because AEW will put some free stuff up every once in a while. Then, of course, I am very smitten by the NWA.
Yeah.
So I got to watch that. And then if something just makes the night for being a really good match, I'll watch that too. But I'm still... half the time I'm enjoying, half the time I'm gritting my teeth.
Just sit you down like Clockwork Orange, pry your fucking eyeballs open. And
someday you won't be upset when somebody kicks out of 2 superplexes. We have to condition you.
Make you watch fucking 9 hours of New Japan and AEW.
It's fine. You're so right. Finishers don't matter.
You're kind of right.
Yeah. I could kick out of 7 tombstone pile drivers. I think maybe only once or twice I ever saw anyone kick out of a tombstone, and I like left the room. Like, it's unacceptable. Like, that was the one that was a bridge too far. Like,
nope.
Yeah.
Boy, you haven't watched much in a while then because Taker's tombstone hasn't been a finish guaranteed in like 10 years.
So what is there anything that's kind of like sacred for finishers? Like,
Kenny Omega's One-Winged Angel has only been kicked out of once in Japan, one time. Like, and that's the only one that anyone makes a big deal out of like, it only happened once, you know. Everything else, whatever. But I mean, fucking Rock was kicking out of stunners and Austin was kicking out of rock bottoms, like, all that time ago.
Why?
The look on your face.
Why have they never? Well, it's because I'm sure he has tons of creative control in AEW. But why is he not like a kind of like a frilly, fancy boy heel?
Oh, like, he's full heel. He's been full heel for 6 or 8 months.
They kind of try to make him like this badass. I don't buy it at all. Why aren't you because of those flourishes with his hands and stuff? Be like, be you're better than everyone. That's what you were born to be. You're born to be you're born to be the model Rick Martel. Be the main event version of Rick Martel. I mean, Rick Martel at one point was an A-lister, but we don't need to do an AWA deep dive or Quebec wrestling deep dive.
He's playing a good smarmy dickhead heel for sure. Real arrogant, but also a complete chicken shit, which a good heel has to do.
Maybe I've just been watching the matches and I haven't seen enough promo.
Yeah, maybe
stuff.
that's it. Yeah, he's doing good work.
He should,
At the end of the day, though, if you don't like him in the ring, you're not going to like him on the mic, or you're not going to like the total package if what you see in the ring isn't your vibe.
And it's not that he looks like a pro wrestler, which is a beef I have with a lot of guys. He ain't small, and he's athletic, but like I just don't like the I am parroting what a lot of people parrot about modern wrestling. That just irks me. But like, I could be meant to like him if he was presented as a person that I'm supposed to hate, because I hate him.
Oh, he very much is. Ironic that we just talked about Old Man Yells at Cloud.
No kidding. Because that is my I don't know. There's some people like, I can't watch it. Like, really, you can't watch it? Is it that much different than the Attitude Era? Not really, It's
still two sweaty men play fighting in their underwear.
It's still all
it's still there.
you should just be marveling at the fact that this is still on television.
Somehow.
It shouldn't
against
be.
all odds.
Yeah, like this is like bear baiting. Like this should have went out. Like this should have went out when we kind of stamped out widespread illiteracy.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that should have went away. But it's fun. It's a curiosity. We should appreciate it while it's here.
Episode number 14 is Tales from the Public Domain. Maybe my least favorite of the, like, what's the word? Anthology. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, it's funny. I struggled to find that word, too, when I was trying to describe this
kept
episode.
wanting to say
anthology.
analog.
Yep.
I knew that wasn't it.
Is it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe my least favorite of the anthologies.
Yeah, man. I think for me, what hurt, at least for the first, I don't get any interest out of the Odyssey or Joan of Arc. Like,
likewise,
those aren't fascinating tales to me, really.
Right, like the Odyssey more than the Joan of Arc story. I like.
Yep.
You know, I like Iliad and Odyssey, but yeah, once we get past that,
yeah,
because I like Greek mythology because I'm super cool and always have been, and not a total fucking stump dick nerd.
With confidence to spare. Oozing with machismo.
Yeah, the Razor Ramon of podcasters.
I want to look at my Iliad action figures. Just kicking out your patio window. So wants to. She doesn't have the motor skills to open the latch because she so wants to get out of there so quick. It's a running roundhouse kick through the patio. Does a somersault off a third-story apartment. I'll deal with the consequences.
So the framing device around the anthology is that Homer gets a letter that he has an overdue book that he checked out back when Bart was 4 and was going to read it to him.
Oh, yeah.
And the book is Tales for Children, which I don't think any of these tales are for children, but whatever we need to make the episode go, I guess.
And it's around this time there's a reference to OJ too. And
yeah, a real crowbarred in OJ
are
joke.
you old enough to really? You didn't
like. I remember it, but I don't remember caring about it.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was in between those ages.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I was up at night like, oh God, I
wonder if the juice done it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, I remember like being aware of it was everywhere.
Yeah,
it was
I remember
crazy
that
how
too.
all encompassing it was, and like the workday coming to a stop. Like I remember all the teachers, like, I don't even know, was I in school or was I somewhere else? Was I in like a basketball camp or something? Which is astounding that I would have went to that. But I remember being somewhere where all the adults like just kind of stopped what they were doing so they could hear a word of what the verdict was. Like,
yeah, I don't remember any of that, but I remember just culturally like OJ being every punchline to every monologue, every Jay Leno thing. Yeah, Ito.
That was so everywhere. Or yeah, what was the Long Island Lolita? That was around that same time. That was just like this.
That I don't remember.
Sultry tale of a guy was cheating on his wife with a much younger woman, and that younger woman was just obsessed with this guy. And she just showed up at the house and shot his wife in the face.
Oh, fun!
Yeah, that's it. And it was like fodder for all of the like late night talk shows. Like it is. You hear comedians talk about Jay Leno, like especially like from like the the kind of boomer / early Gen X maybe, like. The ones that worked with him pre-Tonight Show, like, yeah, man, he is the most talented person I've ever met.
Really?
And it's just wild. Like, Letterman will say it. Letterman, like, who obviously has not seen eye to eye with Jay Leno in a third of a century. He's like, yeah, like, he's like the best joke writer I've ever worked around. Like,
crazy.
Yeah, like... And
that's coming from Letterman, who I think is brilliant.
Does not hand out praise willy-nilly, like and like I've heard his beginning, like he started before stand-up was anything. It's like he was traveling with strippers like along like the New Jersey coast, playing like
doing the vaudeville
he's like an 18-year-old with like a just like, hey, can I come out during your burlesque show and tell some jokes?
Is
like
that your Leno?
And just having that was actually supposed to just be a weird teenage boy, but it kind of wasn't.
It was all right.
maybe I should work on that. I got a knack. But yeah, what a way, like, talk about commitment. Like, there's not even a place to start. I'm just getting screamed at by middle-aged men that just want to see half-naked women. There's a teenage boy telling his observational humor, you know, like, but yeah, that show just, it was so bottom of the barrel, you know, lowest hanging fruit, you know, like, and the interviews were just so tame, and he never did anything to like rile up he
was extremely safe, you know.
Yeah. On that, like, I'm just old enough. I remember watching the last episode of Carson.
Yeah.
I just can remember the last couple of years of Carson. And I stumbled because he just passed away, Charles Grodin, the actor, and he was notoriously difficult on interviews.
Okay.
To the point, like him and Letterman, it was actually the ratings would go up because, oh shit, we want to, because, you know, Letterman, he don't play fools either.
Right.
And I saw Johnny Carson with him on it, and Johnny Carson at this point is beloved, the face of talk shows, the face of Hollywood, everyone's grandpa. And he is just fucking, to use a wrestling term, no selling Johnny Carson. And you can even tell with Ed McMahon's like, want to play this game? He just and I mean, like, it was still kind of play, but you realize, oh, there's a reason Johnny Carson was on the air. He is a 70-year-old man, and his comedic wit is razor sharp.
Carson was brilliant.
His responses were so quick and so good. I'm like, if I would have been watching this and last night, I would have been like, this is great. To see that shit in 1988, I bet people are losing their minds. Like, this is so good. Like,
there's I came to Carson later. I feel like I might have also seen the last episode because it was like, oh, this is a big deal. You should see this. Yeah. But I came to Carson later, like probably around the time we're at in The Simpsons, around 2000, 2001, when like the best of Johnny Carson VHS box sets were a thing.
Yeah.
And watching that old shit. Holy shit. My favorite Carson clip is it's Johnny at the desk. Ed McMahon is in the A chair. Yeah. And then Dean Martin and I forget who else is on the couch. But from right to left, it's Johnny, Ed, and then Dean Martin and someone else. Yeah. And Ed McMahon is like got half a buzz on, and he's telling stories to Johnny, and he's facing left and has his drink in his right hand, and Dean Martin with his left hand keeps ashing his cigarette into Ed's drink. Really? And like it takes the crowd a while and Johnny a while to catch on what's going on, but every time he does it, they crack up laughing, and so does Johnny, and Ed thinks he's killing. So Ed is just bolstered by this what he thinks is them laughing at his shit.
Solid gold story that he's telling.
And Dino just keeps flicking his ash into his drink.
Oh, no shit. That is good.
Christ, I don't have a fucking clue how we got here.
Yeah. The Simpsons? Is that still the show we're discussing?
So Homer's reading these stories to the kids. The first one is Homer's Odyssey. They kind of just do the Odyssey. They do the fucking Trojan horse, get the horse in the gates, kill everybody.
I have two notes. One is I did like the line where he's like, Odyssey, is this about that time I rented that minivan?
I love that he has a photo of it in a frame.
You gotta let
that
it go.
Caresses gently.
You gotta let it go. 7 years ago, Dad.
Big cup holders and change slots for every coin.
Yeah, penny to quarter.
Like most of these, it's just fun to see who they cast as what characters.
Yeah, that's exactly the formula. Now that you say that, like
Sea Captain as Poseidon is good. Patty and Selma as the Sirens is funny because it's just like you don't see them for a long time, and it's just the sweet singing luring them in, and then it's Patty and Selma.
I mean, I like too. They try to sell Patty and Selma as ugly. It's like, besides the hairy legs, I am buying what they're selling.
Got no problem with that, do you?
Yeah. I will say this: Mo in that Trojan skirt thing, off-putting.
Yeah,
I like my Mo pants. I do not like bare-legged Mo. Like,
and you're not too proud to say it.
Yeah, not comfortable.
They visit Circe's island. Of course, she turns them all into pigs except Homer, and Homer eats them all. Just because it's Homer. My favorite joke of the whole section, this whole chapter, is when they're like, when Cersei tells him, oh, you have to cross the river Styx, and it shows him just floating down the fiery river while Lady by Styx plays. And Homer is like, oh God, this really is hell. I would think Homer would like Styx.
I thought that is like, this is bad writing.
Doesn't that fall right into Homer's 70s dad rock wheelhouse?
Unless he's one of those Styx fans that likes the more rock and Styx.
Sure, he likes Renegade, but not Lady.
Yeah, he doesn't like Lady. He doesn't like Mr. Roboto. He doesn't
like Come Sail Away.
Yeah, he doesn't like the more, because they kind of, well, that's why they broke up. They had like a creative. There was the one guy that was super, more of like a performance. Like he should have been in the theater instead of a rock band. I can't think of his first name, but yeah.
Yeah, so we get a good Styx joke there, and then Homer gets home. Homer gets home and kills all of the suitors, and that's the end of that story.
Yep.
The next one is Joan of Arc, which I have even less interest in.
Agreed.
There's one real good joke where Bart is making pate, and he just throws a whole live duck into that wooden machine and just presses the press down, and pate comes out. That was amusing. Get a lot of jokes on the French in this episode.
Back to that,
Why fucking not, I guess. Like Joan of Arc is sent by God to lead him to victory, and Homer's like, we don't even have a word for that. We're the French. I'm like, okay. God damn it.
I did like Milhouse with that bowl cut.
Yeah,
that was weird.
With the undershave. Yeah. Milhouse as the King of France is good. Lisa, who's playing Joan of Arc, leads the army to victory. Willie captures her. It of course ends up with Joan of Arc on the pyre, and I like that Marge butts in and just grabs the book and is like, and then Sir Lancelot came away and they got married and lived happily ever after, and then tears out and eats the page of the book.
That was very
not
good.
Wanting Lisa to know how that story ends.
And while we're on the subject of none of this making sense, the first, these stories don't tie together worth a shit. Except the fact, like you say, they're in the public domain.
Yeah.
Like, none of this.
But still, the public domain is huge. Yeah. You should be able to find three stories that fit together, kind of.
Well, I'm sure, one example is the Goldilocks, the fairy tales ones.
Oh, yeah,
that's
like the Grimm,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's... we get through it. The last one is Hamlet. Hamlet, Hamlet, I like. I like Hamlet. I got no beef with Hamlet.
I'm more of a Macbeth guy and a King Lear guy, but I do enjoy. I certainly also enjoy the tragedies more than the comedies when it comes to. Yeah,
same here.
I don't think comedy ages that well, especially 500 fucking years.
Yeah, it doesn't age 500 years for sure. Hamlet and Macbeth, I think, are my 1 and 2, and that changes depending on the day. I never have read King Lear. Maybe I should. There's a pretty decent Hamlet that came out in the 90s with Mel Gibson that's not bad as far as translated to the screen goes.
You're right. It must have been the kind of thing where he had enough pull in Hollywood to get that made. Yeah. You see that every once in a while. Hey, I'm a star. This is what I want to do. Placate me. Yeah. I'll make Lethal Weapon 9 or whatever you need.
Whatever you want to do. Yeah. I'll do what women want. Just let me do Hamlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's just fun to see who they cast as who. Mo makes a perfect Claudius, the shitheel fucking usurper. He does his big confession scene during the play. There's a great scene out of Lisa where Bart is talking to that portrait of his dad being like, it's true, he did murder you. And Lisa just goes, oh, Bart's gone crazy, huh? Well, no one out crazy's Ophelia, and goes dancing across the table and dives out the window. Yeah. I was like, that was pretty funny. Bart kills, is it Thelonious behind the curtain, who's Wiggum. And so Ralph has to avenge his dad's death and stabs himself, and Bart stabs Moe, and everybody dies.
I love revenging.
We did get what I thought was a fun joke way at the beginning when Homer is Ghost Homer is telling Bart to avenge him, and when he goes through the wall, he leaves the slime. Yeah. He leaves the ectoplasm from Ghostbusters. And then at the end here, it just cuts back to Homer wrapping up the book and is like, Yeah, and there was a great movie made from Hamlet called Ghostbusters, which doesn't make any sense, but we get to hear Ghostbusters, which is a horribly underrated movie song. Everybody loves Highway to the Danger Zone, which I like. Who doesn't?
Yep.
But, like, you catch me on the right day, I might tell you that Ray Parker Jr.'s Ghostbusters is the best movie song.
I would not disagree with you.
That song is a jam.
If anyone is left that cares enough to throw my funeral, because maybe I'll live a long time and I'll outlive everyone that knows me. I doubt it, but let's say if there are people around and you're listening, you better fucking play Ghostbusters at my goddamn funeral.
You can count on me.
On a loop at the beginning.
If I don't go before you, you can count on me.
My God, I think that'd just be so. And I was thinking, do I want that on a loop or a mix of other songs that make no goddamn sense at all? Like, I was thinking just some dumb, trivial, like Jay Giles band or something. Like, why is Centerfold playing so loudly at this wake?
Oh God!
Who let the dogs out?
Oh shit!
Holy,
that's funny.
Seeing someone sob over an open casket as Who Let the Dogs Out just blaring on like a mix CD on like
all your loved ones being like, "What a strange boy he was." Which, hey, if that's how I'm remembered, perfect.
Yeah,
there's way worse ways to be remembered. But fucking Ray Parker Jr. Ghostbusters rules. Like, if you haven't heard that song in a while, fucking go put it on. It doesn't even have to be like people put it on their Halloween mix, but fuck that. You can listen to that song today.
It's a song for all seasons.
That fucking the keyboard breakdown in the middle. That fucking dee 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 dee. Fuck, that's fucking good. That song is a hot banger.
Yeah,
I feel pretty strongly about Ray Parker Jr.'s Ghostbusters.
How often are you going to actually be in a room with someone that agrees with you wholeheartedly on this? It's a weird feeling.
Almost never. Yeah. I just been bursting into authentic Mexican restaurants yelling about Ghostbusters for the past. This is the way to do it.
One of my favorite songs to put on touch tunes in a full bar too.
Oh sure,
because people are kind of confused right away. But there's like 1 out of 50. He's like, I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
we when we told jokes a few weeks ago, we were in a small town in rural North Dakota at the bar after the show, enjoying our barley pops and hanging out a little bit, and your boy played an Insane Clown Posse song on that Touch Tunes, which I'll bet was the first time that's ever been done. And I caught out of the corner of my eye Josh DeLay bopping a little, and then he's like, "Did you play this?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What is it?" I was like, "It's Insane Clown Posse," and he's like, "Oh, I might not have been bopping had I known that." Like, it's like, that's right.
Don't deny yourself.
Clowns are for everybody. Yeah, you can get in there.
You bop to what your heart wants to bop to.
And then someone else pretty promptly took over that jukebox and was playing something else. Yeah. There's a lot of country music after
Florida,
that.
Georgia line.
They couldn't hang with the homies. Yeah. Nobody there was running with the hatchet. Yeah. Just your boy.
I have a hunch they knew what table that came from.
Probably.
A strong hunch. Next episode's episode 15. We are flying through season 13 here.
We are
past the halfway
I think
point.
This is only like a 21 episode season too. This is what feels like a short season, so we're cooking.
So this would be Blame It on Lisa. Bart and Homer are watching Itchy and Scratchy. When Marge, that's a common beginning, them watching TV and another family member coming in to like inform them about something out of the ordinary.
Yep.
And this out of the ordinary is Homer. Their phone bill is $400 due to a call from Brazil. So it's kind of like, well, I didn't do it. And Bart, like, right away they assume Bart was making prank calls. He's like, well, that ain't me. And then they end up going down to the phone company place where there's an appearance by the guy. There's a joke that one of the guys there is the voice of Movie Phone.
Which is a very dated joke at this point.
Isn't that weird that like something from the 2000s can be that dated?
Yeah.
Because right away, that's so 90s. It's like, well, this episode aired in like early 2002, I think. It's like, Jesus, yeah. Like,
and Seinfeld made their Movie Phone jokes, 4 years before this, probably.
Yeah. So like, Movie Phone was not relevant much longer after this episode aired. You know, like,
I don't even remember Like, there was for sure an automated thing when you called the theater in Bismarck when I was young that would tell you the times and what was playing, but I don't think it was TM movie phone with that guy's voice, if I'm remembering right, which I'm probably not.
I think the first city I lived in that was big enough to have movie theaters was Nashville, and I think they had Welcome to Movie Phone. I think it was that guy there. I'm not sure about. I remember calling the number in Fargo too, but I'm not sure if it was TM movie phone.
I just remember being a kid and being like, I gotta call the robot and see what time Will Smith's Wild Wild West is playing so I can go see that.
Thanks, entertainment bot. And I love when they call out randomness in The Simpsons. The always kind of smart upper class lady is there.
They even say her name here, and I was going to write it down, and I forgot it.
I did the exact same thing.
Name every time.
And Marge points out, like, why are you always changing jobs? Last week you were this, why you're this? And she just calmly goes, I'm a sexual predator. And I'm like, Jesus.
And they barely react. Just like, that would make sense.
That's why you have to change jobs a lot.
Jesus Christ, lady.
Her delivery of that is what cracked me up. Like, Jesus.
Just so matter of fact. Yep.
That's because I'm a sexual predator.
That's why we're moving you around a lot. Using the old Catholic model. Yeah. Just move you to a different spot.
I'm sure you'll stop your ways in a new spot.
You let you get it out of your system.
So, of course, Homer is defiant. He thinks they didn't make the call, so he refuses to pay the phone bill, so they shut off the phone service. And this is like right away. There's a couple gags where they talk like, I called your number and it just said here's a bunch of deadbeats, which I like that they would have like an automated message.
Yep.
And there's even, I think it's Lenny or Carl. I think it's Lenny calls like, hey, we found some old taco shells.
We tried to call you, but your message says you're a bunch of deadbeats.
Why isn't he at work? He should be at work.
We were cleaning out a cooling vent and we found a bunch of old taco shells. He's just eating an empty taco shell.
So great. That was a joke that reminded me of the olden days when the show was really good.
That was a fun joke.
Yeah.
God, I love Lenny or Carl.
So they're kind of eaten up by the fact that they don't have a phone because it's really messing with their day to day. But then it comes out Lisa is the one that made the phone call.
And Marge even says, but you're the good one.
And Bart just kind of glares at him real quick. I love that.
Yeah, there's a quick moment of Bart looking sad. Like,
she's the one. She was calling Rio after sponsoring an orphan boy who ended up going missing. And she shows like the video that gets sent with those shoes on.
Yeah.
Like my mom sponsors an orphan child in some other country. And my brain tells me they send 10,000 pictures of this little girl out. And these notes are not handwritten.
They've got half a dozen kids that they just cycle through.
By God, it makes my mom happy. So I hope against hope.
God bless her.
That it's real.
Do your good deed.
Yeah, that it's helping somebody. So here's hoping a kid in Indonesia is getting vitamin C pills, whatever.
Whatever he needs.
Yeah, whatever they give kids.
I like that Ronaldo here is like, with your donation, I got these Samba shoes. Yeah. And with the extra, we were able to buy a door for the orphanage. God damn it.
That is funny. Good, yeah. So she was calling a bunch because Ronaldo went missing. And so in typical Simpsons fashion, hey, let's just go to Brazil.
The Simpsons are going to Brazil.
And that is a trope in the show that tires me. It's just them in a new city. Unless they can make good jokes. Yeah. It's almost like they're just saying, hey, animators, we're throwing you a bone. You get to draw something different.
Yeah, draw something fun.
Yeah, you get to draw giant elephants and we go to Africa. In Brazil, you get to draw colorful things in a parade, like
Carnival.
Yeah, but I don't know.
There was the Japan one.
Yeah,
was one of the first ones.
Canada one. Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like they're just throwing the animators a bone. Here, you can have something fun.
Yeah, like...
But to be fair, if you're an animator, Brazil's probably a fun place to animate.
You get to break out a lot of colors.
Yeah, you get a whole new palette.
So they get to see and experience Brazil, and again, not a lot of it made me laugh.
Not a lot of good jokes, and maybe it's because I feel like Brazil... like has all this great culture, but it's not immediately evident. Like if someone told you make 5 good jokes about Brazil, you could probably do Japan or Canada better.
Yep.
You know,
I think a lot of it is too is they don't come here. Like there's not like a Brazilian population, you know, like
right.
Their culture is because they are a country of immigrants themselves for the most part, you know, like
from the Portuguese originally.
Like, and I don't know, like, and I find Brazil fascinating.
Same
here. If
there's
a top 10 list of countries to visit, Brazil would be on there.
Yeah.
I've
and to be fair, they kind of hit all the things that Joe Schmo, who might be watching The Simpsons, would know about Brazil. Big Jesus statue, colorful slums, carnival. They do the Brazilian steakhouse, the meat on a sword thing.
Yep.
Like that's probably about all.
Yeah, skimpy bathing suits.
Yeah, everything is sexy. Yeah. Like that's probably all most Joe Schmoes know about Brazil.
Yeah, and
that Jesus statue is too much. If you were to ask me, like I look at that and I'm like, that's a little ostentatious. That's a bridge too far.
Yeah, I wonder what the backstory behind that is. Like,
I don't know where that came from. Yeah, I don't. I bet it's not. I bet it's man-made. That's about as far as.
I got a hunch that wasn't a natural phenomenon. That wasn't lightning strikes.
If it was, that would be terrifying.
Yeah, no shit. Oh, I guess.
Well, I got to go back to church.
Yeah,
like today.
I'm gonna pause this podcast. So they've split up. Lisa and Bart, Lisa and Marge, and then Homer and Bart go off.
Yeah,
because because Lisa's kind of narrowed down the places that Ronaldo could be, and while in the process of that, Homer gets kidnapped because that's another thing we know about Latin America is people get kidnapped a lot. And I did like that there was a $50,000 ransom, and with everything the Simpsons had, they could come up with $1,200.
Yeah,
that was a good amount of money,
including money that Grandpa gave them.
Yeah,
like between our life savings and what Grandpa sent us, is $1,200.
So Homer doesn't know what to do. So he calls Mr. Burns. We get an ahoy, ahoy.
Ahoy, ahoy.
That was so nice to hear.
It's so good.
And I thought Burns was willing to like front him the money at least.
Yeah.
And Homer refused that.
Right. Because he's fucking Homer.
And then he calls Moe, and Moe interrupts him because he needs to borrow $50,000, which Homer agrees to.
Yeah. Okay, fine. And then immediately calls Ned and goes, Ned, I need $100,000.
I'll pray for you. And Ned says that not in an insulting way.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to help the best way I can through prayer.
I'll pray for you. And Homer said some manner of blow it out your ass and slams the phone.
So it's nothing's working out, and they are not people to trifle with, as I think most South American kidnappers are. And during this time, though, they are at the Carnival parade, and one of the big flamingos pokes its head down, and it's Ronaldo. And he introduces himself to Lisa. Like, he jumps out of his costume. He's like, I was able to get this because of these Samba shoes that you bought me. And they go back to his dressing room, and he is now fabulously wealthy. Dancing is
sure.
Yep. Why not? Why not? Yeah. I'm sure they pay those people handsomely. ?
I don't know enough about Brazil to dispute this.
Yeah. So he has $50,000 just lying around
in a briefcase. Here you go.
So thanks to that, they are able to pay the ransom money. They meet kind of on like, I don't know. I think of them like in the Alps or the mountains, like those trolleys on high elevated gondolas is the right word. Gondolas, yep.
Or the cables.
Yep. And they throw the money, and then Homer tries to make the jump, and it's just a disaster. But they're safe.
They're safe. They made it.
Yeah. They got their money. The kidnappers got their money. The Simpsons got their Homer, and things are back to normal.
There's a couple good jokes in the, like, while they're looking for Ronaldo, a couple good, like the Simpsons experiencing Brazil jokes. Like, well, earlier there's, like, Bart watching TV, and it's, like, ultra sexy Sesame Street or something like that. And then, when they go to the beach and they have to wear Speedos, and Homer's ass just eats that Speedo.
It's like a black hole and just keeps sucking. He has like another one on the ready.
Puts another one on and it eats that one too. That was funny. But I really like when Marge and Lisa are at the market and she's like, oh, look at these stuffed animals. But they wake up because they're real.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, maybe I'll just get Maggie one of these bracelets. And as she goes to pick it up, it uncoils because it's a snake and hisses at her. And her line, she just goes, everything is something here, which I thought was a great line for Marge.
And then a bad joke was the final joke where like they're all, hey, you know that was pretty scary, but we're all back together. And Lisa's like, Mom, Dad, you better take a look at this. And Bart's been swallowed by a python.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this is terrible. Like, oh, don't worry, everyone, it's Carnival. And he's like dancing.
And just dances, yeah.
Why? It's just so lazy. Like
you had to send them out. You can either send them out on a joke or walking into the sunset with the soft music. You can pick one.
Find a good joke. Oh man, what did they do to run off the good writers? I like
no one can bat 1,000. Writing jokes is hard. We know that.
And you know what? I'm sure if we did a deep dive, a lot of the writers in those early Simpsons seasons, or the prime Simpsons, they got offers to have their own shows where they were the showrunner and they were in charge of it. You know, I'm sure there was a brain drain in the 90s. Like, hey, this show's amazing. You're one of the writers. How about you get your own project? What would you like to do? You know?
Yeah, I'm sure other TV shows came through and gutted the Simpsons writers' room.
Yeah, can you imagine? I bet it was nuts. I love it. I should look back. Every once in a while, I'll do like a deep dive on the history of it, you know? Like
do it the way you follow a sports, an athlete. Like, okay, started at this show and then he went and did this and
like
just follow their
transactions
career.
list. Yeah, like was traded with a 3rd round pick to this team. Like I find that shit because you can like all the sports stat pages now have that as an option. Like being an athlete's a fascinating life. Like I was like with the draft. You're just sitting with your mom and your aunts and uncles, and you're just hanging out in your living room, finding out where you're going to move tomorrow.
Right.
Which of these 32 cities am I going to live? I mean, you're psyched because no matter where you move, you're getting paid a lot of money to play a game, you know? But like, that's or getting traded is such a weird aspect. Like,
yeah, it's a weird concept.
And I mean, I know at least in basketball and baseball, I don't know hockey well enough, and football trades so rarely happen midseason. You're expected to be in uniform within like 24 to 36 hours, like because they usually
a fucking whirlwind that's got to be.
Like what about my phone bill? What about that? Who's gonna take the trash out? I still have a place, you know, like. So weird. Like,
well, that's like Shaq talks about when he got sent to Phoenix and he still like holds the record for the biggest Walmart purchase.
Oh yeah.
Where he got sent to Phoenix kind of by surprise and just bought a fucking apartment sight unseen and had to furnish it with something. So he like went to Walmart and spent $40,000 or something like that
I forgot about that.
To fill his new apartment in Phoenix. Like
it was something outrageous. Like how many?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like several truckloads of shit from Walmart for that kind of. Well, you know. You just start buying nice TVs for every room in your house. Yeah. Money adds up quick.
Exactly.
You know?
Like just televisions. You can, I think even he said, because I watched him when he was on Hot Ones a couple seasons ago of Hot Ones. And he was like, yeah, it's mostly the TVs. Yeah. He bought like a fucking dozen of them.
I haven't watched many new seasons, but does it seem like people are less like destroyed by the wings that they used to be? Or maybe people are just more aware of what's coming.
I think they're just more ready for it is all. But they still get super fucked up.
Yeah. It just seems like early on there were more people that couldn't finish.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think maybe they just... Well, I think some of these people are such big stars that they... Like, A, they want to be able to plug their thing at the end.
Yeah. And
B, like... They kind of, it's probably a point of pride now. You don't want to be one of those assholes who didn't finish.
Because early on there was that it wasn't rare for somebody to tap out. Like, I think it's Coolio had one that was famous for he talked so much shit right away and then like almost died on like the 6th wing. And when he found out there were 3 more, he was like, no. I'm just like, that.
The fun old ones to watch are like rappers because they're so fucking posturing. Like I remember, like who's the big guy that has like a cooking show now with the big beard?
Action Bronson.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like he's real chest out. Same with Riff Raff when he was on there.
Oh, really?
Like I like watching the comedians are my favorite ones,
Yeah.
but the rappers also because they have such a fucking bravado to them every time.
Yeah, you're right. It was really rapper centric early on.
Yeah. Well, you could tell that that's who that guy, Sean, is that his name?
Yeah.
You can tell that that's who he likes is comedians and rappers.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah.
So you can tell right away that that's who he was actively trying to get.
I think it's the Kristen Bell one that's like alarming how casually she eats the hottest wings.
Huh.
And she's like,
I don't know that I've seen that one.
She's like, yeah, because she can maintain the comfort. Oh, I can kind of feel it now. And like, she is at the same level as the host, and the host is like, it's almost supernatural how little the wings bug. But she kind of said, we eat poison level spice in our house weekly, so like I'm just conditioned to it, like which I've learned, like because I'm still not a super heavy hot food guy, but like compared to where I was 15 years ago, way hotter.
You can build up a tolerance to anything.
Yep, it's fascinating how that works. Like, because that, like, let's say you are gonna go to a Buffalo Wild Wings. Are you gonna get, what's your level of heat?
I'm gonna get fucking hot wings.
But are you gonna get like 911 Inferno?
If I like on a scale of 1 to 5, if I go into any wing joint, like 1 being the limp dick and 5 being the call the ambulance, fucking big dick hot, you know, like I'll usually get number 4 if it's my first time in the restaurant.
I would say I'm little less, depending on the place, I'm a 4, but sometimes I'm a 3.
Yeah.
Like if a place offers mild, medium, hot, and ass destroyer 9,000, I get hot.
Yeah,
like,
same here. Yeah.
When the adjectives get too colorful, that's all they're just here. They just want me to be a spectacle.
Exactly. That's why I do the same thing.
Yeah,
whatever's the hottest one is probably just hot and doesn't taste good.
Yep.
I want the next one down.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't need to. There's a good enough chance I'm going to shit in my pants.
Just in a given day without the assistance of spicy food.
Yeah, that's not for me. That's not what I need to do in my life.
I love hot food. Like I was in Alabama a couple years back and my buddy took me to this this hot chicken and waffles joint. And like it was, 1 to 5, how hot do you want it? And I got the 4, and I was just like eating chicken and waffles, just tears running down my face and sweating.
Yeah.
And I was in hog heaven because I love it. I loved it so much.
What did your buddy happen to order a 5? I'd like to know what the 5 was doing to people.
No, I think he took a step down.
Okay.
The 5 is like, you fucking get a T-shirt and you got to sign a waiver, and I'm not. I'm not
that guy. Yeah, I don't need to. I don't need my face on the wall where I look like I just got bear maced, Another satisfied customer.
We did it.
Yeah.
Well, if something is that hot but tastes good, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But usually that's not the case.
Yeah, it's so rare. Yeah, but like what you're saying, when it gets to that level, you're just going for pain. It can't be that tasty because your brain would be freaking out so much you're not even going to enjoy the flavor of it.
Yeah. Well, things can be that hot and taste good. Like not 2 days ago, there's a brand of like super fucking spicy ramen noodles, instant ramen noodles that I like that I buy at the Asian American market down the street.
Yeah.
And that shit is like an unnaturally bright red, and
really?
like I was sitting here just a couple nights ago. I make 2 packs at a time, and I get a big glass of milk next to me, and I just fucking house these ramen noodles, and it's full body sweat, tears, like, and it's so good. It tastes so good.
Really? Okay,
I love it. But it is fucking hot. Ain't no way around it. Brings us now to episode 16, Weekend at Burnsies. We get a good GMO joke right off the bat. Would have been exactly the time we were worried about GMOs. Yeah. Or, I mean, a lot of people still are, the fucking hippies, but there would have been some of the first good GMO jokes. I like the joke of the potato eating the carrot.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. GMOs aren't a problem. No.
Or if they are, they haven't cracked the hot 500 list of the things we should be worried about.
Yeah. I don't know how much news you're paying attention to, but the ocean was on fire yesterday. So big corn, not a problem for me.
Yeah. There's much bigger things to be worrying about.
Yeah. I like that Marge is deciding she's going to grow her own vegetables after seeing that potato eat that carrot. So she's out planting, and the crows show up, and Marge decides she's going to make a scarecrow, and I love the pop-up video joke.
Yeah, a reference that fewer and fewer people will get.
Man, pop-up video is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Just watching a music video, getting fun facts the whole time. I did like how they used it here, too, where it's comic book guy, which is perfect. I like that they use him to point at the show, because he kind of represents Simpsons fans, really. Yep. So it's like she's laying out clothes to dress the scarecrow in, and it's like, this is Lisa's hockey jersey from season whatever, episode whatever. Like, this is the hat from episode whatever. Like, I thought that was very cool.
And something like this just infuriates me, and that's a strong word, but hey, it's hot take Sunday here at the America's Barley Basket. But if you watch VH1 now, when was the last time you watched VH1?
Fuck, man, I have no idea. Probably 2005.
Now, VH1 and MTV2 are pretty much just 3-hour blocks of alternating forgettable 90s sitcoms. You have a treasure trove of your own content.
Why isn't MTV just running Jackass 24/7?
Why aren't they showing Beavis and Butthead reruns?
Or Beavis and Butthead, yeah.
Or if you're VH1, how much fucking money does it cost to pay a couple comedy writers to do pop-up video? You tell me about a modern pop-up video wouldn't draw more viewers than an episode of fucking Living Single?
The only thing I have with pop-up video, and would it work today? The only thing that makes me question it is pop-up videos fun facts when we were watching it 15 years ago, 20 years ago, were surprising. Whereas now everyone lives so publicly. Are any of the fun facts going to be things that people don't already know?
I think they could still find interesting tidbits.
I think so, too. I agree, but that does make me think about it.
And here's another, and I'm past this now, another like old man yelling at cloud. Is like a friend and I were discussing this a while back. It's like, well, they probably don't even make music videos. It's like, hey man,
they for sure
music videos are back. There was a lull, but YouTube and
smartphones, Vivo,
like they can make money off videos now. Like they're actually, because back in the day, video was a profit loss big time.
You just did it to hopefully sell records.
Now it's
and concert tickets. That's why so much of the hair metal videos are fake concert footage.
Interesting. Good. Very good point. So many of them are.
Almost every Bon Jovi video is either real concert footage or a fake concert. Even like, you think about like most Poison videos. You think about like the Unskinny Bop video. It's just them playing, but they're on a stage, because they want to sell you on that.
Yep, that's a very good point. Yeah, and every hair metal band had like the rigors of the road. We're so exhausted, but we're still rocking for you, dear listener.
one of my least favorite songs of all time that isn't some piece of shit somebody farted out on SoundCloud, but the song that everyone knows that I fucking hate is Bon Jovi's Dead or Alive, which is that song, which is the I'm strung out from the road, but I gotta
They've seen a million faces, Marlin.
Rocked them all. Fuck you in the neck. I hate that fucking line. That line in particular is the main reason I hate that song. God damn it, fuck you.
What's your favorite Bon Jovi song? If you had to choose one. Mine's easy.
Oh man, it's a real basic bitch answer, but boy, do I like Living on a Prayer.
Oh, yeah,
That's a
I can see that.
That's a good song.
It's a well-crafted song.
That's a good Mellencamp-esque fucking song.
Makes total sense.
I bet I have a different one, but off the top of my head,
Mine's Bad Medicine.
oh, Bad Medicine's a fucking jam too.
Yeah. What was that? Did they have a hit in the early aughts?
They absolutely did.
Have a Nice Day break the aughts, or was that the late 90s?
I don't know that was the one. Have a Nice Day.
You'd recognize it if you heard it.
I can see the music video. Whoa.
Yeah,
That's the one. Is that what that's called? Have a Nice Day?
Have a Nice Day.
I don't think that's the name of that song.
I think it is.
I'll bet you $1 American to Google it right now. That is not what that song is called.
Hey, folks, you are hearing this as it happens.
I'm not cutting anything, Nathan.
Yep. Okay. Try to keep some Bon Jovi. I am typing with my right hand. I'm a natural lefty. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe that you might be right that that's just in the song.
Yeah, that is for sure part of the hook. But I can see the video in my head. Like there's the subway, and Bon Jovi has that fucking mom haircut.
Yeah, he very much does. Brother, not only is the song called Have a Nice Day,
get the fuck out of here.
The album is called Have a Nice Day.
It's the title track?
With that smirky smiley face on the cover.
Yeah.
Yep. Track number 1 is Have a Nice Day on that album.
God damn it.
Well, I will take, you can either cut me a check or I'll take cash. Do you have Bitcoin? I'll take.
Cut you a check for $1. Holy shit, that's what I should do just to be a dick. All right, fair enough. Well played. I was wrong. That is a fucking good song, though.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi, not anywhere near my top 10 of the hair metal guys.
No, I think they kind of took the Def Leppard model and made it more friendly for women. Which, I mean, that's good, and that's why they're successful.
Yeah.
Because that's what Def Leppard did. Like, hey, you know what would be cool? If women were at these shows instead of just a bunch of stinky virgins.
Buddy, I'm going to contest this, actually, and say that the song I'm thinking of is It's My Life.
Is it? Okay. Well, Have a Nice Day was a huge... That has to be their last
I don't
hit.
even remember that song.
If you heard it, you'd recognize it.
Okay, all right.
Well, we'll have to take this to some kind of probate court.
We'll have to find a mediator for this. I had to look it up. I was like, there's no way.
You could be right. Just in my head, Have a Nice Day was their last hit.
Okay.
So the song you're talking about, when did that...
Would have been 2000, maybe 2001.
Okay, so this one was a little later. So they were having hits into the mid-aughts.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, good for them.
That mom hair took him a long way, you know?
Holy shit, I should cut my hair like that.
You absolutely should. Feather it a little.
Yeah. I got enough hair right now I could do it.
Yeah, Bon Jovi's one where it's like, I know the hits. I don't know any of the deep cuts. I don't know. It's fine. It's filler on a classic rock station.
Mm-hmm. The only Bon Jovi song there it is. I'll make a point to keep the radio on would be Bad Medicine. Mostly because it isn't a common one to pop up.
Yeah, that's true.
Living on a Prayer and Wanted Dead or Alive are the Bon Jovi staples of classic rock.
Good gang vocals in You Gave Love a Bad Name.
Yeah, that's another song. Yep, I sure don't mind that.
And Bad Medicine.
Yeah,
I'm a sucker for gang vocals. Give us something to sing along to.
Yeah,
my hair metal Mount Rushmore is Twisted Sister, Motley Crue, Rat, and probably Warrant. I fucking love Twisted Sister big time.
God, really interesting.
Oh,
no kidding. I don't dislike them, and I enjoy Dee Snider as a human.
Yeah.
But
and Warrant is horrifically underrated.
Yeah, they got some songs I enjoy. I would have to think about it. I just think Def Leppard is for sure on mine, and probably Motley Crue. I can't imagine Motley Crue not being on there, but I would have to think about the fucking Poison might sneak on there for me. I like some Poison songs, man.
Yeah, I like a couple of the hits, but I don't I don't really truck with Poison.
I would have to delve into classic rock, hair metal and see what I'm missing. I say, who's out there that I'm forgetting?
You should start living that life. Get a jean jacket.
Hey, man, I owned Monsters of Rock and I owned Monster Ballads.
I was about to say, do you also have Monster Ballads?
Still can't hit that high note in that Steelheart song, but I try.
I'm sitting here most days just belting out Sometimes She Cries by Warren, singing to the cat.
One of these days, I'm going to be able to keep Kicks and Trickster separate in my head.
Oh, sure.
They always blend together. I don't know who sings what.
Oh, once you start digging into the real fucking B and C tiers,
which I love that
Get in
shit.
on some White Lion and some Vixen.
Oh, a friend of mine at Savers, the used clothing store in Fargo, 21 years ago, found a White Lion tour t-shirt.
Awesome.
It's like, you son of a bitch. That's like a men's
I hope
medium.
he bought it,
oh,
right?
yeah.
Okay,
He's probably wearing it right now.
Yeah. I would be. And boy, would that be a horrific sight, me in a men's medium.
Yeah,
but
I'd have to like slit it down the sides and put like shoelaces in.
Slit it down the sides like Scott Hall.
Yeah. I would look like I'm wearing a bib.
Ooh.
I'm ready for Messies.
Barbecue on my White Lion shirt. Oh, shit. I don't know how. Oh, we got here from pop-up video.
That's what it was.
How the fuck did we manage that? So Marge is making a scarecrow. While she's putting together the clothes, she has left the cross up in the garden, and then she comes back. She has to shoo away the Flanders because they're all praying in front of it.
So great.
That was funny. Homer comes home that night and is like scared of the scarecrow, thinks it's a home invader or something, and demolishes it, which means all the crows latch onto Homer as their new leader, their new alpha.
The new alpha of the murder.
We see we get a couple good gags out of that, like him at the bar just covered in crows and everyone's shying away from him. And like, we haven't seen Barney since they enveloped him. And it's like, oh, well, here's a button of his and it's got blood on it.
Yeah, we never even see him. It's like, oh, well, this couldn't have ended well.
And then the crows take it a step too far by snatching up Maggie and taking off with her. And she drops out of the sky. Homer catches her. But Homer shuns the crows, and they turn on him and just peck the shit out of Homer. And he ends up in the doctor, getting stitched up, getting his eyeball stitched up. God damn.
Sick.
Some fucking body horror.
Yeah.
Asks Hibbert for something for the pain, and Hibbert says, well, I've got something, but it's kind of controversial, which Homer retorts with, why does it go in the butt?
Yeah.
Which I really gotta laugh at. No, it is medicinal marijuana that Hibbert is talking about.
Fascinating that this is now 20 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's still not everywhere and is still looked down on by so many people.
Yeah, like it's technically in North Dakota, but you've had to have like lost every limb.
Yeah.
Like
the hoops you have to jump through to qualify for medical marijuana in North Dakota is what 4 people in the country qualify for it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or in California, if you get brain freeze, you can get a medical marijuana card.
And in North Dakota, the doctor who prescribes it to you is going to get fired for it.
Yeah.
You know,
oh my God.
It's fucking insane how fucking backwoods and Stone Age the state is.
Mm-hmm. And this is coming from 2 people that don't get stoned. Or very, very, very
extremely rarely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's it's never quite been my bag every time I've done weed, which should tell you right there, if that's how I refer
I've ever done
to
the weed.
it, that it's not a very often thing.
I just want to go on record. Marlin is not a cop.
But I sound like it. Yeah. I sound like I should be wearing a fake mustache, leaning against a van outside a concert.
Carrying a brand new skateboard everywhere. Hey, sup, teens?
Hey, teens.
You guys know where I can get any wacky tobacco?
Hey, teenagers, you want some Savage Cabbage? Like, just fucking narc. Like, it's just not my bag. I'm already pretty laid back. I don't need help.
Yeah.
So, but the people who need it ought to have it. Hell, the people who want it ought to have it.
Yeah.
we'll get there in our lifetime, I think, but much like everything, I think this state's going to have to be dragged kicking and screaming into the future.
We'll probably beat the Deep South. That's the only thing we have going for us.
Yeah.
In a lot of things, that's, hey, we're not as bad as Mississippi. What a thing to hang your hat on.
Right,
like,
yeah. But barely. Like, we're just cold Mississippi.
Yeah, like, I just love, like, this deep, like, Mississippi is just like, they find it a point of pride to be closer to a third world country. Like, you know, like, it's like, we want to suffer. Everything should suck. Like, oh, man.
Shout out to our Mississippi listeners.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, we need you there. We need people with brains there to maybe start electing some. We know what it's like. We live in North Dakota. We elect fucking knuckleheads on a regular basis.
Oh, my God.
So don't leave Mississippi, as we should not leave North Dakota. We need to take these states over. Hashtag turn Mississippi blue. There we go. That's our new motto.
I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
So Homer's like, oh, I don't know about that. I had a bad experience once, and it flashes back to the 70s of him with Lenny and Carl under the bleachers, and they're smoking a joint, and then skinny Wiggum shows up, like young, thin Wiggum, which is weird to see, and Homer stuffs the joint down his pants, and then the dog mauls his balls, which was funny.
Flinging him around by the balls.
Yeah.
Like,
and then this fucking episode, like, just turns into... It feels like if an old man wrote an episode about weed.
Yep.
Like, it's all, like, psychedelic artwork, which I like. As we've discussed before, like in the fucking peyote Johnny Cash Coyote Out in the Desert episode. I love that kind of artwork. But, like, Homer's just baked all the time. And everything's very, hey, man, like, I don't know. I wasn't super into it.
It's almost if you were a hack comic and you wanted to, like, hey, I need some material about marijuana, and you Googled funjokes.com and typed in marijuana. It's like just 10 shitty dad jokes about marijuana, and they just, hey, let's make an episode out of this.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So
there was one line I enjoyed where Lisa goes, it smells like the art teacher's office.
Yeah, that was
here.
funny. Like, of course, the art teacher's high. Yeah, we get a lot of that. A lot of jokes, like Homer cuts himself shaving and rainbows pour out, like that kind of thing. And he's drawn like dilated pupils and eyelids half closed the whole time.
Yeah.
Ned comes over and is stoked to read the whole Bible to Homer, which I like.
That was a good,
It's so wholesome that Ned is like, Ned pulls out the Bible and Homer's like, well, I can't really read it. Can you read it to me? Yeah. And how excited Ned is.
It's so waiting
wholesome.
for this. Yep.
He's just like, he's been waiting his whole life for this.
Have you ever tried to read the whole Bible?
No.
I've knocked out the New Testament a couple times. I tried to get through the Old Testament. It's
not into.
It's just it's insanity. And it's just so boring and weird and hard to... It's weird and boring at the same time. It's just like, what is...
I would think the Old Testament would be more entertaining because it's like that's where the flood and the garden and all that shit is.
And Benglabom begat blah 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 begat blah 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 begat blah 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 begat Arf begat Arf Junior begat Bleezabloms.
How long do we got to go before we get to a Dave?
No, Skippy.
There ain't one cooter in this whole damn book.
Oh my God, yeah. And then the Psalms, it's just sing-songy, just like, oh man.
Huh. Yeah, I've never, like, I certainly, growing up Catholic, had to read some tidbits here and there, but like, I've heard Revelations is pretty metal. Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's the good end to the New Testament. You get some real heavy chugga riffs at the end. They really go for it. Like, holy shit, really? This is how it's gonna end? Hope I can make it to this. Like,
these horses are dope.
How many wings is that demon gonna have? Yeah, those horses are made out of what? Wasps? Fuck.
God damn, this is great. Homer gets called into Burns' or not called in. He kind of wanders his way into Burns' office at one point, and Burns is prepping to give an IPO, a speech to the investors kind of thing. And he's got to write some zinger jokes because the company's just hemorrhaging money.
60 million, I think, is the number.
And he's got to convince them to stick around. So he's trying to write fun jokes. And Homer, being high, laughs at everything because Nathan, that's great. How it works.
Yeah, you think everything's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah. So Burns likes that Homer laughs at all of his jokes. We come back to that later. We get Homer hanging out in the attic with Otto, which dumb, but you may as well have those two interact somehow because Otto's the only other weed guy on the show.
Yeah, we need. I did like him referencing he forgot he was married.
Yeah,
I was what? Oh yeah, I married that chick.
I married that chick. They're watching TV, and across the television comes the fact that there's a petition going around to recriminalize marijuana, which is why Ned showed up earlier to have him sign that petition. And they show the petition on the television, so you see all the signatures on it. And I paused a few times and went through that whole list to see all the townspeople who signed it to recriminalize marijuana, and everyone made sense. Everyone,
like the Lovejoys, the Flanders,
the Lovejoys, the Flanders, Skinner and Skinner's mom, all everyone you expected
Chief Wiggum
signed it, except there's one oddball in there where I'm like, I don't think that person would have signed that, and it is Edna Krabappel. There's no way freak flag Edna Krabappel is going to try to be harsh in other people's weed mellows. There's no way.
Nope.
That lady is a free bird.
I don't believe it.
No, I don't buy it.
Don't make me get disappointed in Edna Krabappel.
That was the very one thing where I was like, nope, fuck that one. Homer's at a pro weed rally with fucking fish.
Have you ever? I can't even say I don't like Fish because I may have never heard a Fish song. Or who are the big jam band?
I would say
Widespread Panic.
Yep, Widespread Panic, Fish. The Dead, obviously, but modern, I would say I would put Trampled by Turtles.
Turtles, Big Woo. Are they big enough to? I
don't know if they're still around. Yeah. I have no idea.
It never has appealed to me, and I should give it a try. I should give everything a try once.
Yeah, try everything once.
Yeah, I've had friends that have told me that they're not. I respect their opinion because they're not big Grateful Dead fans, but they say, hey, listen to their live albums because that's where they earn their money, was their live performances. He's like, they were a hell of a fucking band.
They're like Stoned Kiss.
It's like, really, they were. I just can't buy it.
Yeah, me neither.
Bebopping around, doobity boob. Here's a 17-minute guitar solo by someone that's falling apart. They're like they're 3/4 drugs.
I think the only fucking Grateful Dead song I've ever heard is Truckin', and I hate that song. Oh, really? So
I bet you'd recognize Touch of Grey if you heard it.
Probably.
Because it was,
that was not a strong foot forward on their part. The Dead are someone I think more people like the iconography of the logo and all that. I bet 60% of people who wear Black Flag t-shirts don't love Black Flag.
It's a cool logo.
Yeah, but it's a cool logo.
Yep.
So that's how I feel about them. Yeah. I could be fucking wrong.
And right now, there is somebody out there that is swearing off this podcast because of this.
Oh, yeah, they're shutting it down.
I do like that there's people that are there are Grateful Dead. Well, fuck, that's how they made their money. People would go, they would follow them. They're Deadheads. They'd go to every show across the country with them,
And good for you if you're that into it. But we've shit on the Dead and Fish. We have for sure lost both Ben and Jerry. Because they're between Fish Food and Cherry Garcia.
God, yeah. We love ice cream too.
Oh God,
we shot ourselves in the foot.
God damn it! There goes that Ben and Jerry sponsorship we were sure to get.
That barley flavored ice cream, which would be a real
hit.
Oh boy.
Oh man, when I was a teenager. We had, I don't know, a friend of the family had gotten involved in the business, so he knew where to get it. He was like an investor and would send some our way. But it was instant barley meal, the way you would get instant oatmeal.
Yeah.
And that shit was A, delicious.
Really?
But B, like real strange, like cream of wheat consistency.
Yeah.
And you'd be sitting around 19 hours later going, oh yeah, that's all I ate today. Like,
oh, really?
Barley is some miracle food.
No shit.
Where it's just like, oh, this is just going to sit here like this lump of clay in your gut and get you through the whole day.
Someday we're all, in the year 3021, we will just ingest a fortified barley mush upon our waking time, and we'll just live off that all day. Just be optimal humans.
You'll just take a plug of barley paste like the way tobacco used to come in plugs.
Men won't have nipples. We'll evolve because of the barley. We'll lose everything we don't need.
But everyone has beards because barley has beards.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, we did it.
Yeah.
I want to mention, too, on the subject of people that follow bands around, I know probably like 3 years ago, Weird Al did that tour where they didn't play any parody songs.
Yeah, it was all just his straight original.
Deep cuts. And like every show was promised to be different. And he sold out all the venues mostly because it was people that went to every fucking show.
That's crazy.
I mean,
that's great.
I totally would do it if I had the wherewithal. I've always been a believer that Weird Al's strong suits are the originals.
I've never heard an original from
Never
Weird
did a deep
Al.
dive, huh?
No.
Oh man, I could.
I just know the hits.
Yeah.
I know that it is completely not the fucking popular opinion. I may be the only person who thinks this, but my favorite fucking Weird Al song is The Saga Begins.
Oh, really?
From the Star Wars movie, the Don McLean cover.
I think it's fine. I think it's a fine parody.
I love it. I also love American Pie by Don McLean. I think that's one of the best songs of all time.
It's a hell of a song. It takes you on a hell of a journey.
Yep, it's a fun ride.
Yep. Could you imagine that song being number one on the pop chart? Imagine Dua Lipa, or I don't know if I'm getting these names right, getting knocked
Cardi
out of
B.
Cardi B getting knocked out of the number one spot for a 7-minute rambling ode to Buddy Holly by a man that looks like a troll. Like, just like, does anyone that isn't supremely fuckable have a top 10 hit anymore?
No,
they don't let uggos. They got rid of the uggos.
Music.
They got rid of the uggos. Music used to be 2/3. Fucking teenage girls lied to themselves and convinced themselves that Ringo Starr wasn't a fucking pig.
Right?
He's an ugly man. He will tell you that in his heart of hearts. You know, like
none of the Beatles were good looking.
Fucking all fucking look like they're missing something. You know,
Stones.
Yeah. God, I don't know. Mick Jagger's got them pussy-eating lips.
Okay.
I think he's like, I think women can spot that from a mile away. Like, he knows what's up, you know? He might wear my clothes more than I like.
He's got nice feminine hips, too.
Yeah. Like,
real thin
if
hips.
you're into, like, he's got a little twink feature, and some women like that, you know? Like, so, but you're right, though. Holy shit, yeah, Ron Wood looks like shit. So many of those guys are just fucking pigs. God, that's fascinating. The musicians you love. Well, I don't believe I just did it to pick up girls. No, you're a weirdo artist too, you know, but yeah, so many of them are fucking ugly humans.
Yep.
Like
now you got to be pretty to be a popular musician. Yeah.
Well, it's because there's like 3 Scandinavian people that hide in a studio right now that write 80% of pop music, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
They just choose good-looking people to sing the product they've already created, you know? Like,
and then like they want to throw like, oh, then that means it's a big deal when like Lizzo became big. It's like, no, Lizzo's fucking knockout. Why? Like, just because she wears 3 sizes bigger than somebody else doesn't mean she's not also gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like come on.
Yeah.
Throw us somebody that looks like a dry heel of somebody's foot and make them a fucking number 1 hit. Then you can say,
I love Tom Petty. Not a handsome man.
No, not at all.
He used to have pop radio hits. Imagine that now. He was fucking 50. He was having. How did that happen? Like, what a time. What a time. Maybe we are devolving. Or are we evolving? Should we be? I don't want to get rid of uggos. kind of an uggo. Kind of feel like it's hitting close to home.
Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Keep the uggos in the spotlight.
God damn it.
That's why, like, uggos can still make it in comedy. Like, he turned out to be some fucking sex criminal, but Louis C.K. looks like a foot.
Yeah,
you know,
good
and
point,
was
good
the
point.
biggest comedian in the world.
Yeah, he was a slightly overweight bald ginger, and he was the biggest comedian. That's a good point. Like, now you just have to find your avenue. Not all the arts are for you.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's why I like bristled at Chris Hardwick for so long. Like, fuck you, you handsome little asshole. You can't be handsome and funny.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's so the same way I felt about like Nick Thune for a long time. Like, this dude can't be funny. Whitney Cummings, you can't be funny and good looking. Fuck you. Like, that's not fair.
Well, I know. What's her name? Very good looking actress. Short. Always keeps her hair short. Kind of light skinned black lady. Halle Berry. Like, they didn't want to give her Monsters Ball because it's like, you're too attractive.
Oh.
And she's like she had to convince them, like, I assure you, I have bad days. It's like, just because I look like this doesn't mean every day's. And I mean, she fucking knocked. I mean, that movie, holy shit.
That's a good movie.
It's so good, but my God, is it just a sadness train that keeps just going deeper into the earth, you know? Like,
Same with like Charlize Theron, like when she did what was that movie called? Monster?
Yeah.
You know, like fucking Matthew McConaughey and Dallas Buyers Club looks like hell. Like,
another movie that's so good.
yeah, like at some point make them look like shit. Then that's a fucking I think that's a Billy Wayne Davis bit of like, that's how you win an Oscar.
Yeah,
is if you're hot and play someone ugly.
Or it used to be play someone slow.
Yeah,
well, that's from
from Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder, you know. You gonna say it? Like a stock into Malone, you that one. You know, just power dunk that one in.
Shout out if we were to do a comedian of the week, like a hey, somebody you should check out, motherfucking Billy Wayne Davis, who is so fucking funny. Has a special live at Third Man Records that is outstanding. That everyone should check out. Where are we at? So
Fish.
Fish is
I
performing.
did like the Hans Molman with the tie-dye and the backwards cap when he walked up to the stage, but that's where it about ends for me for getting enjoyment out of the whole Fish thing.
I liked the joke that like, hey, wait, we smell marijuana. That better be medicinal. And they make him bring his credentials up.
Let's see that prescription card.
Like, Fish is down as long as it's medicinal. Like, I thought that was a kind of funny joke, but for the most part, meh.
Yeah.
Homer comes out and gives a speech. He's tired looking and disheveled because he's smoking weed, Nathan.
Yeah.
That's what it does. I did like the joke that the vote was yesterday. They spaced it and had their rally the day after.
Yeah, and it was recriminalized.
Yeah, weed recriminalized. There's a bit here where Homer is standing on the stage with Otto, and Otto's staring at his hands, and he goes, they call them fingers, but I never seen them fing. Yeah. And then, like, the camera's pulled way back so you can't see it, but he goes, oh, there they go. Yeah. Like, that was really funny, I thought. Homer's off the weed now, but now he can't laugh at any of Burns' jokes anymore because they're not funny unless you're high. And Burns goes to take a bath, and Smithers and Homer smoke weed in order to get
through it.
Yeah, to get through these jokes. Start inhaling, Waylon is how Homer put it, which I liked. And then they both realize, oh shit, it's been over an hour. We left Burns in the tub, and Smithers cradling naked, wet Burns.
Yeah,
and then like he squeezes him too hard, he goes shooting across the room and lands in a pile.
like face plants with like his limbs akimbo, like.
And so they're like, shit, this big speech to the shareholders is in like 20 minutes. What are we going to do? And what they decide to do is Homer comes out to the podium and kind of speaks for Burns while Waylon Smithers has marionette cables tied to Burns.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And like makes him dance, which was really funny. And he's like doing all these old fucking vaudeville dances.
Running in place kind of thing.
Yeah. And eventually a couple of the wires snap and dead Burns collapses. Homer kind of pushes him backstage. And then back behind the curtain, Burns pops up. He's still alive. He says some of the shimmy shaking during the dance number got his heart going again, and now he's fine. And listen to that crowd. They loved it. So we made it.
All's well that ends well.
Yeah. We end on a couple of jokes with like Smithers, since he still has a marionette wire on his wrist, being like, make me smack Homer.
Yeah.
And he just smacks him. Now make me smack you.
Yeah.
Now him again. Now you. Now give me a taste. Now both of you. Like, that was kind of funny as we fade to credits. But man, did I think all the weed material was super fucking dumb. Like, just the most tired weed stereotype jokes.
Tired is the right word for it. Ugh.
Yeah, there was some good stuff in here. Like, I really liked all the GMO jokes and the scarecrow jokes, the crow jokes off the top. I liked, but once we got into the meat of the episode, I was like, these are pretty tired.
Yeah, rough stuff.
These would be in the fucking 1,000 great jokes book on the back of your uncle's toilet.
Yep. Holy shit, yeah. Very much so. And we are wrapping up today's batch with episode 17, Gump Roast.
Yeah.
Playing on Rump Roast. And if you can tell by the tone of Marlin's yep, we are not in for a good time. Episode starts with Homer as Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Just sitting on a park bench.
I guess. I mean, maybe I missed it. Was there any fucking background to why he's Forrest Gump now?
No, he was just sitting waiting for Marge.
God damn it.
There is a fun joke, though, where, like, I thought it was fun anyway. Wiggum comes up like, hey, it's illegal to impersonate movie characters. And then it cuts to Mo dressed as Austin Powers.
Yeah.
When's the last time you heard or saw an Austin Powers reference?
It would have been pretty, still would have been a hot ticket at this time, but like, it's Austin Powers, one of those weird, like if you went into a Spencer's Gifts in 1999, it was 40% Austin.
Yeah.
Who bought that shit? I don't like. I was the right age,
Right.
I don't. Was that something that like sad 30-something single women found funny or dads found funny?
I think it was for, if you were to ask me who was Austin Powers for, it's teenage boys.
Yeah, and
because it's just a 90-minute movie of innuendo.
yeah,
Like,
I just don't think any man. Yeah, and those movies are fine.
they're fine.
There was so
I think
much
the first
merch.
one's the best one.
Here's Hot Take Sunday. I'm a believer in the second one.
The second one is also good.
Yeah. I mean, I think the third one has its merits, but I think the second, for me, it goes 2, 1, 3.
Okay, I think it goes 1, 2, 3, and I think 3 is significantly less than the other two, outside of Beyonce. Beyonce's pretty rad in that one.
I think I liked Heather Graham. Maybe I just find her more attractive. Maybe that's the pig in me, the swine in me.
You animal.
Yeah, because I love it when she's wearing those tiny, like, little hot pants, and he walks up to her and is like, how do you get in those pants? And she's like, buying a drink wouldn't hurt. And he immediately loses it. He just goes... It's like shaking so much his drink is spilling. God damn it. I die every time I see that.
See, and I prefer Elizabeth Hurley in the first one. So.
Elizabeth Hurley aging backwards, which should make the rest of us feel like Elizabeth Hurley is like in her late 50s and like has an insane
still a smoke show
bikini body.
Yep.
Like none of it makes any sense. Like
I haven't watched that first movie in probably 20 years, but I bet that if I fired up Austin Powers 1 today, I would still laugh my dumb fucking head off at the like nude but standing behind an object to obscure it jokes. I think that shit was so fucking funny to me. Like, I remember being a teenager and seeing that movie and like, oh, he's naked in the background while she holds a big sausage in front, being like, get it, because it's like a dick. Like, that's that's very simple brained.
There's a lot
comedy,
of that kind of comedy that doesn't do a lot for me, but I get what you like. I appreciate that Mike Myers enjoys it, so he has enough clout that he's able to get it in his movies, you know.
And I don't remember if it's from the first or second one, but getting the cart stuck sideways in the tunnel is a brilliant joke. Yeah.
And is it the second one too, where there's a giant something flying through the air that looks like a dick? And everyone's looking at it like, oh my God, look at that. It's a giant. And then it cuts to something else. And it's someone saying another word that could mean dick. But like he loves shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
that weird, dumb misdirect shit.
Yeah.
I wonder I should watch that again and see if you can still enjoy an Austin Powers film in 2021.
And like the Will Ferrell parts in the first two are all good. Like it's beginning to smell like almonds. Is that what the wound is beginning? So he falls off that cliff.
Hell, even that when they first thaw him out and he just pees way too long.
Yeah.
Even that's a funny dumb joke.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd be curious. But I love that kind of dumb shit. I love the Naked Gun movies and the Mel Brooks parodies.
Oh, really?
And
Yeah.
You know, Airplane. I love all that shit.
Parody is one of probably my least favorite forms of comedy. But I get it. I still enjoy. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't enjoy parts of Naked Gun. That'd be a lie,
right?
Like, what am I going to lie to the good people? Like, there's a good one of those. I don't know if it's the first Naked Gun where like Priscilla Presley, the female lead, is like on a ladder, trying to like digging up in an attic, and he's behind her like stabling the ladder. So he just goes just calmly goes, "Nice beaver."
Yeah.
She hands him a taxidermy beaver. It's so dumb.
It's such a good joke.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. There's some. Yeah. Or how many times O.J. Simpson gets shot when they find out he's undercover. He's still alive.
Yeah.
He gets shot like 200 times.
Or in fucking Airplane when he's like, this woman needs a hospital, and the flight attendant goes, what is it? And he goes, it's a big building full of sick people. Holy shit, that's a great joke.
I've never seen Airplane.
You should see Airplane.
And from from the jokes I've picked up, it seems like it is a step above 99.9% of like, because again, I've always said comedy doesn't usually age well. There are bits in Airplane, which is approaching 50 years old probably. Oh. That like some of that shit, like, do you like Gladiator movies, Timmy or whatever his name is, or the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar bit? Like, there's so many, like, yeah. What are those brothers' names that made that?
Oh, I don't know.
They have a unique last
name. Off the top
name.
of my head.
Yeah, they're very, very talented fellas. And then we have the duo that makes like the Date movie and
which are trash,
which are just
the
boiled
Spartan movie and all that
boiled garbage. But play on player. If you're getting rich off it, I have dopes. So go see it. Why not
get
make
that
it?
money?
Yeah. So Homer is now on a park bench telling his life story to Chief Wiggum, and to my dismay, and I'm sure to Marlin's dismay, I find out, holy fuck, this is a clip episode.
This my note right here is this a goddamn clip show? ?
Mine is, it's a clip show, period. Oh, goody, period. But then, as it's weirdly even framed. Like, he gets a little into his life, but then the family shows up to pick him up. Mm-hmm. It's like, so what the... Why?
Why not stick with the Forrest Gump thing if you're going to do it?
None of this. It just seems like, holy shit, we have to have an episode done tonight. Like, it just, I was like angry while watching this. So, turns out they're going to honor Homer at the Friars Club.
Yeah.
Again, a town that has a volunteer fire department, has a Friars Club.
Has a chapter of the Friars Club.
So he gets there, and it's kind of like all the names you'd expect. You have Mr. Burns. He's up on, is it the dais?
Is
that how you pronounce that, dais?
Krusty's hosting.
Krusty's the host. And
Lenny and Carl are up there.
Yeah, they are. And then, and so he is going to get roasted. And I do like, there's a part where it's like, Marge's like, Homer, he's like drinking and having a good time. He's like, slow down. You don't need to give them any ammo. And at one point, he's passed out. He's like face planted on the table. Like his ass is hanging out the back of his pants.
Yeah.
It's like that
ass
part.
Up in the air with his crack showing.
Yeah.
Don't give them any fodder. Yeah.
And it's just a clip show. Like, we get like Bart and Lisa go up there and like, and they do a good job of making it seem how forced a show like that could be. It's just them like really stiltedly reading off a teleprompter. And have we discussed, I'm sure we did when this episode aired, Christmas caroling. Does that belong on the list of things that only happen on TV?
Like when we first brought it up, that's funny because it was the first time you and I did is that just on TV?
Oh, no shit. Okay. Because it's like episode 1.
Episode 1 when they're singing around the piano. So that was, I think that's maybe a little different than Christmas caroling, as in the door-to-door thing.
Yeah.
I've never seen the Christmas caroling door-to-door thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a real thing.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I grew up in a church. You know, we were always at church. We never, unless they didn't invite us because we couldn't sing worth a shit. Like, I always
Little
wished,
do you know, you've just been left out.
I always wish the church would have planned it out that everyone stop on a dime and just the full smucks would be singing. Because like my dad held the hymnal book and his mouth was moving as if words were coming out. But if you would have paused it, I would have loved to have heard how loud he wasn't belting shit out.
Yeah,
you know? My
just
mom
real
too,
mumbling.
just real quiet. You know, like
That's the creepy thing to me of going to a church now as an adult who fell out of it fucking,
Years
15,
ago, yeah.
20 years ago. Like I went to a wedding last year and it was a Catholic wedding, so you get Catholic
service.
mass.
Yeah,
You get the whole fucking thing. And being an outsider now, church seems like the creepiest fucking thing that you can
Really? Okay,
that you can
yeah.
observe as a third party.
Yeah.
And part of it is because everyone sings like your dad. Everyone just except there's 80 people doing that. It is unnerving.
yeah.
Like you feel like you stumbled into a fucking clan meeting or a cult.
And I think that's one thing we lost when the World War II generation started getting older. Because I was a kid, there was a ton of the guys, because the church choir was big. There was some dudes just belting
Just
that
going
shit.
for it.
Yeah, and a lot of the women did too. Yeah, they were really getting after it, what a friend we have in Jesus. Just like they are going after it. Like, good for them. Like, that's ended now.
There were a couple of ladies in our church growing up where it's like, oh, you don't want to fucking sit next to Gladys and Teresa. They'll fucking blow you out of your fucking seats.
This is what they're here for. Think of it. If you liked singing, you probably loved church.
Oh, yeah.
It's a chance for you just to go sing.
Yeah.
And what else? I mean, karaoke is the only other thing. Like, you just go to church and sing.
At the same time, I fucking love karaoke.
Yeah, I gotta be blotto to make it.
Do you really?
Yep.
What's your go-to karaoke song? If you're
my God.
in all of the right, if you're blotto enough to get there.
Ghostbusters theme is definitely one of them.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's an outside the box choice.
Because it makes no sense. It's really weird for karaoke. Me making eye contact with whoever's nearby that I don't know when I say bustin' makes me feel good. Just to try and get them to leave the bar. I have maybe told this story on this podcast. But my main one, it's either Smooth by
Santana, Rob Thomas.
Featuring Rob Thomas.
Fuck yeah.
And also Spandau Ballet's True, which... It's a hell of a song. I don't know. I like it because it's long. Yeah.
Okay.
And but I have a friend who is if you didn't know him, he's kind of imposing. He's about 6'4", 6'5", bigger guy, not ripped, but just a big guy. He sings "These Boots Are Made for Walking" in just a monotone speaking voice, and he just
like Shatner, just
he's like, "These boots are made for walking." And that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are going to walk all over you. And the worst part's when he's just, again, making eye contact with anyone's unfortunate enough to look at him. Come on, boots. Let's get walking. It's so off-putting, and I'm dying the whole time. The bar is in droves. People are going out. The bar owner's in tears.
Yeah, that's a funny joke, but I would be pissed if I were at karaoke and someone killed the fucking vibe with that.
Yeah, it's so great.
Oh my God, my two go-tos are Breakfast at Tiffany's.
That's a good choice.
And Run Around Sue by Dion and the Belmonts.
Another good choice.
Because when you're picking, it's important. When you're picking your karaoke songs of choice, also Build Me Up Buttercup by the Foundations.
That's another good choice.
Like, you have to choose songs that the crowd knows all the words to, but they don't know they know all the words to until the song starts and they're like, oh,
I know this song. Yeah.
That's the key to a good karaoke song.
Well, there you go. We put the foundations for a good karaoke set. So Give it a try, folks.
Get out there, do some karaoke. Yeah. Karaoke's fun. I like karaoke.
Yeah, I think it's a good time.
I also need a handful of drinks in me, though. I don't need to be fucking shitting my pants drunk, but I do need a few. It's like playing pool. I need a few to loosen up.
Also, I just realized I used to be able to do. I'd often like to do a duo with it, but "Pussy Control" by Prince.
Yeah,
because I don't know if I could. I used to be able to hit that high note when he hits. I could do the "Pussy Control" chorus part. But as age, affects us in many ways, I don't know if I still have the falsetto. I used to be able to nail that, but yeah.
I love Prince. I fucking hate that song.
Oh no! I love that bass line of that song too. Yeah.
No, not a fan.
I'm that way. I can't think of. There's some Prince staples that I'm not a fan of. Prince for me, like I'd say I definitely genuinely lean towards enjoying Prince's work, but some of his shit doesn't do anything for me.
A lot of his late model shit doesn't do much for me, but like
the hits,
almost all of the early stuff I think is so good. Fucking Darling Nikki, 7, fucking Little Red Corvette, Raspberry Beret. My favorite is Party Man. I fucking love Party Man from the Batman soundtrack.
Oh, no shit. Yeah.
That's the one where
the money's flying?
No, that's Trust.
Okay.
Party Man is when they're ruining the art museum. When he, gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Yeah.
That's
oh, no shit.
Man.
Okay.
That song fucking jams.
Yeah. So again, they're at the roast of Homer, and they're calling different people. And again, it's just all set up so they can show clips. But
everything's like vaguely themed. Like here's a compilation of Homer singing. Here's a compilation of Homer falling down,
being shitty at work.
Yeah, being shitty at work is one.
We do get C. Montgomery Burns, and what does the C stand for in C. Montgomery Burns? We were told, I think.
Oh, we've for sure been told, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Cecil, if you put a gun to my head and made me guess, and you'd probably shoot me.
Yeah.
But
if I had to, that'd be my guess.
Guess.
Getting a number of characters show up, but the show is eventually interrupted by Kang and Kodos.
I always forget Kodos' name.
Yeah,
I always remember Kang because Kang the Conqueror.
And humanity is going to be judged based on Homer's experiences. So they kind of hook some device to his head that kind of just reads everything.
Reads your brain.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this guy is a trash goblin, so we are going to evaporate the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Lisa's like, no, how about you try Maggie? Hooks on the Maggie's head. And I did like that they had a Hello Kitty brain scanner that was for babies.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
As a Hello Kitty fan, I like I've never seen the show, but I love easily recognizable iconography of things, and the Hello Kitty head is like the most recognizable thing in the world.
Was that originally a cartoon?
I don't know if it was a toy first or a cartoon first, but it was for sure a cartoon.
Oh, no shit. I've always wondered what that came from, because that head, you see that head, that's the Hello Kitty head,
that's as recognizable as the Nike swoosh or the fucking...
So weird. Yeah, it's a good point. Like
the McDonald's arches. Yeah, that's...
What is it in Coming to America? Like,
McDowell's.
McDowell's. We had to have a good talk with the people at McDonald's. They have the golden arches. We have the golden arcs.
Yeah. That's a fucking good movie.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. Louis Anderson was introduced to the world, I think, in that movie.
Oh, that's right. He is in that. Yeah. I don't know the actor's name, but I like the guy who plays the guy who runs McDowell's. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe I can't think of his name. He was the dad on Good Times. He's been around forever. Yeah, he's a great actor. Yeah. And then pre-fame Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the guy that robs the McDowell's.
I also like Arsenio.
Yep.
Like,
I can't think of it.
That movie's got a lot going for me.
Yeah, damn right. Yeah.
And fucking, what's his name? Darth Vader. Mufasa.
James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones, yeah. When Eddie Murphy calmly walks up to Samuel L. Jackson, like, please, sir, stop the commotion. Put your weapon away, or I will be forced to thrash you. He says, I will be forced to thrash you. The look Samuel Jackson gives him is so great. Fuck you.
I heard that second one's real bad, from what I understand.
Is it? That's unfortunate. Which, I mean, Jesus, it's been 35 years. So
not everything that we loved in the 90s needs to come back.
Yep.
Not everything.
Yeah.
Or was that the 80s?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's 80s. That's late 80s. Yeah, probably 87, 88, I bet. Like, I wanted the Dumb and Dumber when they brought back Jim Carrey It's like, come on. Just,
I never did see it. I never bothered.
And
I
it's
saw
like-
that prequel, the second one. That was real bad.
Yeah, I never did with the way they were like younger. Yeah. But I fucking rented and everything. I was just like, come on. I'm not expecting greatness, but it's just, I mean, it's not like appallingly bad. It's like just the batting average on the jokes was so rough. It's like, God damn it, you guys.
Ugh.
You got the gang back together. You couldn't even make a mediocre movie? Or maybe it is. Maybe I'm just looking back at it, not a little more harsh than I should, but like, or was it? Well, that was a waste of time.
Yeah.
That's never what you want to think. I've never seen the second Super Troopers, but I have been told.
Well, neither have I.
Like, I remember I was dealing blackjack, and these two couples, roughly my age, sat down, and they mentioned going to the movie. And I was dealing the cards, like, hey, what movie did you go see? Like, went and saw Super Troopers 2. Like, oh, I'm kind of interested. What'd you think? And both of the wives were like, yeah. But one of the husbands was like, do you think you would enjoy a movie titled Super Troopers 2? I'm like, yeah, probably. Did you enjoy the first one? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. He's like, you're probably going to enjoy this one. It's like, they didn't reinvent the wheel, but they did a good enough
It's
job.
more of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
The jokes worked. So it's like, okay, well, if it's 75% of the first one, I'll have a good time.
Yeah, sure. Those guys, what's the name of that? Broken Lizard.
Broken Lizard, yep.
That troupe, my favorite movie of theirs is fucking Slammin' Salmon, which nobody saw.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Like,
I don't even think they got a theatrical release. Yeah.
That movie's fucking
That's enjoyable,
good.
damn right.
Where they're all waiters in that fucking in that seafood restaurant. Like, I think Waiting kind of ate its lunch. That Ryan Reynolds movie, because that came out not too long before that.
Yep.
So, but man, Slammin' Salmon is good.
Yep. I enjoy Club Dread.
That's one I would have to revisit.
Yep.
I remember not liking it the first time I saw it.
A repeat viewing is worthy because it's like, okay, this has its moments.
Beer Fest is good.
Yeah.
Like those guys' batting average is pretty decent. Mm-hmm. I know two of those guys. I don't know any of their names, but the one who played Farva and the one who played, is it Mac?
With the shorter of all of them. Yep.
Short, dark hair. He's the one who's in
The loose
disguise at the
cannon.
beginning. Yep, the loose cannon type guy. They're in some fucking TV show where they're firefighters.
Yeah, like
and have been for
Tacoma.
a few seasons. Tacoma FP or FD, whatever.
They've done their own kind of, I don't know if they call it stand up, but they tour together and shit. Like,
oh yeah,
there's maybe
I've
some
seen
Q&A involved. Yeah. I think what happened there is just enough of them got enough other little projects that it was tough for them to, like, I mean, it probably wouldn't have been tough if their movies were huge financial money makers, but it's like, I think Club Dread really slowed their roll. But then they had a slight comeback with Beer Fest, but then, Slammin' Salmon didn't even get a theatrical release, And let's say if Super Troopers 2 would have just done gangbusters, they would have been, but you're like, I'm sure it's a lot of work to drum up the money. Like, hey, we want to do, who's going to pay for this? Like, hey, somebody out there, please help us, like we can make some money if we work together. And
Can you imagine though, like being those guys and scraping everything together and begging for money enough to make Super Troopers, and then it becomes that fucking big of a hit. Like that had to be
so
the most fun time. Like imagine if you and I and some of our friends made a thing that got that fucking huge out of nowhere.
And I'm sure they had this unwavering faith. Like this is good.
Yeah.
This is good. I think, again, going on just his track record of being an angel human being, pretty sure Danny DeVito went to bat for that.
Okay.
I don't know if he paid for it out of his own pocket, but he's like, hey, this is really good. Let's do something with this. And he got the ball rolling on that. Like,
I know he's known for like really backing a thing that he likes and not letting people ignore it. Like that's how he ended up on Always Sunny.
And that was like forced upon the old Always Sunny guys. Like, hey, season 1 was okay.
We want you to have a star.
You need a name.
Yeah.
And not only did he show up, he is many times the best part of that show.
Oh, for sure.
And for an actor, probably at the time in his 60s when he got that role, to commit like he does to the he's naked a lot of times.
A lot.
He's like
he plays such a fucking dirtball,
reprehensible human being. Like
he's apparently like one of his things is that he never wants to be like left behind by culture. So he's apparently really big into like always hounding his kids and his grandkids of like, what are you listening to? What are you watching? What's popular?
Interesting.
Like he wants to be in the thing. He doesn't want to fade away.
or I think is it maybe one of those like 90s kids movies where him and his wife, Carla from Cheers, they're not married anymore, but at the time they were married. They had a smaller role in the movie Matilda.
Yep, Matilda.
And I think the girl that played Matilda, her parents were going through some shit. And like basically, Rhea Perlman is her name. Rhea Perlman and Danny DeVito became her parents. And like during that time, and with this good, like, you know, like what she needed, some stability and this and that. It's like, who are these angels in like an industry that's full of vultures and monsters? You know, it's like,
who'd have thought that the man who was introduced to me as the fucking penguin would be the angel man that we all need?
God, he was good at the penguin too.
God, he was.
So Kang and Kodos have hooked the brain scanning thing to Maggie, and right away they're kind of nonplussed. Okay, whatever. But then, isn't it that Maggie has watched so much like television at such a young age that they're like, oh, there's so much good pop culture. We can't let
all
this
these
go.
celebrities. We love celebrities.
Yeah. So you can't get rid of us. You know, we're the content that you crave. And then the agreement. This was kind of funny. The agreement they come to, okay, we'll spare your planet, but we have to get tickets to the People's Choice Awards, like, which is such a great third tier award show to be excited about. Like,
and they're like coming down the red carpet, and one goes, I can't believe we're at the People's Choice Awards, and the other one goes, and tomorrow the daytime Emmys. Like, they're so excited because they love celebrities.
Oh man, and a God award, especially. I will not. The only one I don't think I turn away from is like the Academy Awards, because I'm kind of a movie nerd.
Yeah, I like to watch like is a strong word.
And the older
I watch the Academy Awards.
If it's on, I won't turn it off.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know about you, for the Grammys, at least for me, it's always just the most basic bitch. Mm-hmm. Like, oh man, Eric Clapton's gonna win 7 more Grammys.
Right.
Like, or it used to always be, at least when I was a teenager, like rarely any music I wanted was ever like getting to perform. It's not like I was listening to like, you know, fucking like Slovakian punk rock. I was like, hey, could you maybe let the Smashing Pumpkins play? They just sold 90 million albums, but no, you know, fucking
it's
Eric
the
Clapton.
Safest, most stuck in the past.
Here's Carole King. Well, great. Like, like shocking. It's a bunch of boomers making the decisions on this shit.
Right. And like the awards I care about at the Grammys, which are like heavy metal and comedy, are usually the ones that are just like, we're going to commercial, here's who wins. They just post a fucking name. It's like Mudvayne and Patton Oswalt. I'm like, well, I can quit watching. Okay,
there you go.
Like, that's what I came for.
Whereas with movies, they do give, I mean, they're not going way out of, you know, like, there's some movies that are so insane, even the Grammy or the Academy Awards aren't going to give them any time, but like, they'll give tiny movies credit.
Yeah.
Like, to this, even when I was into movies, and I'll read the nominations, like, oh shit, what's that movie? Usually it was British. That was it was, oh yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, like they give, well, that's the running dag egg. I've never even heard of any of these movies.
Right.
So it's like, well, because you're a dipshit.
Yeah.
You know, like none of them. You never heard of any of these movies. You know, fucking idiot.
I do like that this episode ends with a like, we didn't start the fire parody, but of things that the Simpsons have done.
Yeah.
And there's such a good joke where the song turns into like, we're sorry for the clip show.
Yeah.
We promise we have more ideas. And then they rattle some off. And the one that got me was Marge becomes a robot and maybe Mo gets a cell phone.
Yeah. Or
holy shit.
I even do it too.
I was dying.
Has Bart gets a bear? Have we done that yet?
Has Bart had a bear before or whatever? Yeah.
So dumb. Yeah. Robot Marge was good. Yeah.
I really liked maybe Mo gets a cell phone.
And he's got like an early aughts flip phone in his hand.
Clamshell phone. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a decent ending to a horse shit.
Yeah, we survived another fucking clip show.
God. We had just been singing the praises of how good it's been lately. This was one of the rougher batches ever.
Yeah,
I would say.
And it has been good lately. Outside, like last week was the first week in what feels like 4 to 6 weeks where we thought, this was kind of just okay, and then this week was
Woof.
Like I would call it just okay at best.
Yeah.
You know?
It's best moments from mediocrity.
But we did come off, like I just said, of like 4 to 6 weeks, which for us at 5 episodes means 20 to 30 straight episodes of pretty solid Simpsons.
Yeah.
So,
and I remember at the beginning of season 13, I remember reading the critics, a lot of critics think this is a step up from season 12. I don't think so.
I think it started that way, but here we are in the middle of it, and it's like,
It had better turn it around next week.
Yeah, here's
we're at the end. We have like 5 episodes left, I think, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yep. 18, 19, 20, 21. Not sure if there's even a 22.
I better double check to see what the episodes are for next week, since that's something we got to tell the people. You and I are thinking of 2 different Bon Jovi songs for sure, but I'll still give you $1.
I think we should each give each other 50 cents. Has to be a 50-cent piece. Eisenhower only.
Don't fucking test me. I have Eisenhower's.
Yeah. What I don't get, Eisenhower was... How little amount of time was Eisenhower on the 50-cent piece before they 86'd him for Kennedy?
Yeah, I don't know. I bet 90% of the 50s I have are Kennedy.
Yeah. I'm old enough that getting a 50-cent piece in your change wasn't a big deal. Like 50-cent pieces were pretty common, but
I'm young enough to where it was.
Oh, really?
Like I'm young enough to where like I have a collection of 50-cent pieces.
Oh, really? Yeah.
As if they're ever gonna be anything.
Or like I'm old enough to when I was a little kid, getting Susan B. Anthony dollar coins.
Okay.
Wasn't that remarkable?
I have some of those, and those were a big deal because I never saw them in the wild.
Another thing from when I was, it's weird getting, if I see one now, I'm like, what in the what? When I was a kid, it was certainly common to get the 76 bicentennial quarters where the background is different. I mean, like the back of the coin, it's like
the tail
drummer
side?
Boy or something like a flag and someone playing a drum with like a Quaker Oats hat on or some shit.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Like they just pumped them out in 76, but yeah, fuck, that's 40 odd years now, but I haven't gotten a $2 bill in a minute. That's been a while.
We had a guy when I worked at the strip club who would come in maybe once a month and would tip exclusively in $2 bills. I don't know what bank he was going to, or he probably had to call ahead to his bank and be like, hey, I'm going to be coming by. And he'd go to the stage with 2s. He would go to the bar with 2s.
Interesting.
Like he just spent $2 bills.
Yeah.
Some characters.
Yeah, exactly.
In the clientele of the titty bar, for sure.
Because they were making $2 bills into the 2000s, so it's not like they're old.
Right,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But you would occasionally, and maybe this is why he did it, you would occasionally get the stripper that came to the DJ booth and be like, is this real? Like they don't know.
Shit. Yeah. Another thing when I was a kid, getting a wheat penny. To this point now, if I get a wheat penny, I save it for my dad because he'll throw it in a jar of wheat pennies.
But like, to what end is my thing with like... I have...
We're going to corner the market. Everyone is clamoring for wheat pennies, Marlin.
I have probably $100 in fucking 50-cent pieces, Susan B. Anthony dollars, and assorted bullshit change. That between my dad and I, like, have been just sitting in jars my entire fucking life. Like, what the fuck for? I should just take those to the fucking bank. And tell them to turn it into real money.
Bitcoin that shit.
I don't understand why save them.
Yeah.
Next week's episodes are episodes 18 through 22. We're gonna hit perfectly.
Nice little put a bow on it.
Yeah, we're gonna hit there's 5 left, and then the week after that will be episode 1 of 14. So
look at that.
Yeah, so 18 to 22 is your homework. We'll get some more pop punk brewing for you because everybody loves pop punk.
They sure do.
I fucking do.
It's coming back.
I was a freshman in college in 2003, so I was exactly the right age.
Yeah. Oh my God. Or yeah, that's about right, isn't it? That'd be like 2002, 2003.
Which means I was seeing Blink 182 videos on VH1 in 99. Like all the small things is ingrained in my head. Like I love that shit.
Yeah. I'm with you on the Simpsons. I'm going to watch them. Fuck
yeah,
it.
we'll keep going.
Yeah.
18 to 22
I
next
can do
week.
that. I'm tough.
Yeah, you can handle
I
it.
fucking watch so many episodes of so many shows, dude. People don't even know.
I believe in you,
Yeah.
Nathan. So that's next week's homework, 18 to 22. We'll wrap up season 13. Find us on the internets at Barley Basket USA. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. BarleyBasketUSA@gmail.com is the email address. I don't think we talked about it last week, but our latest episode, or the latest episode, it's not ours, but the latest episode of Joke Quest 200 is out there.
Ooh, yes.
On the YouTubes. We joined our friend Jan Severson on Joke Quest 200 and told some goofs. So
Check
if you
it
want to
out.
see the chuckles coming out of our faces, you can do that on
Chiseled jaws.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Our pristine cheekbones.
Beautiful posture.
Yeah, for sure. Not just humped over pieces of shit.
I'm like literally humped over right now. I'm like a human plum right now.
So go find that, Joke Quest 200 with Nathan and myself and Jan Severson and Joe Christensen. That's a fun time.
Go do it.
And we will catch you next week.
Goodbye, everybody.